Ladies and gentlemen, I brought a special esteemed guest with me. From those of you from the console servers, you guys have the GOAT himself next to me, my guy 4. For some reason, I'm all blurry, but 4, how are you feeling about today?
Oh, I'm terrific. How have you been, Seno? It's been a little while since we had a chat.
For sure. And what a great way to bring our chat into reality and take us into a game of NeuroStrike playoffs. We have a best out of 3 series with a infinite overtime, which is absolutely insane. We do have Nighthaven first on the board today. It'll be our first map. It's going to be an insanely interesting matchup is what I'd like to say. I mean, both teams have been somewhat nice to each other. No friendly banter yet. So, I mean, hopefully it's going to stay that way. And hopefully we can see the competition rein on in by that first round. But, I mean, the way it's looking, guys, I mean, both teams have used some of their E-subs to get it fully set up. But we are definitely going to have them fully ready and have their setups all good. How are you feeling, 4? Funny guy, yes. This has been my most streamed map for this league. If I'm not mistaken, we are approaching the 8 to 9 area. Regarding if it is whether the group stage or the playoff stage, I have seen Nighthaven almost every single time. Completely agree here. I mean, Nighthaven is a very defensive-sided map, and I think regardless of the operators you bring, it's always dependent on how the defenders utilize their utility. If they sacrifice First Blood, if they lose first, it's always such a big problem for them to be able to reel it back in, because First Blood is always so difficult to come back from, especially with so many areas you need to control on this map. As it looks right now, though, they're going to be setting up to push either through Aqua, Waterfall, or IT. Oh my god. I mean, beautiful. They use that Maverick and the smokes to be able to divert and cover all of that audio. They'll claim 2 bodies in the depths of IT and onto Rafters as well, claiming so much space in the depths of Rafters. I mean, there's no Azami. She's banned, so that allows all of these players to be able to advance throughout. Bottom, getting his hands a little dirty here to be able to claim so much space onto Pillar and Electrical. But as long as he takes his time, he might be able to catch this Melusi off guard because there is plenty of time left in this round. She is going to be very, very, very aware of her surroundings. That paranoia sometimes is going to pay off. A little spray into the smoke will land a refrag here for the team of REIKAI. And now they'll be down 1 body compared to the NuTorious' 3. A 4v3 and plenty of time to be able to execute it. Make it all evened out here at 3. Oh my god! I mean, they're really just holding on here, and what a way to reel it right back in here for NuTorious. 2 fatalities at the beginning is always such a rough way to start off the playoff, but I mean, Osa, the man himself who managed to find the kills into IT and Rafters. It doesn't matter. That MP5 is lethal in his hands at any range, and that's the first round for NuTorious. What a way to put that, honestly, into perspective. I mean, what a way to start off your round as well. I mean, we talked about the first body being lost, and they lost 2. And from there, they still managed to become a resilient team, come back from it, and get their boards and ones won right off the bat here. And I think that is what makes a great team. I mean, they'll be playing the basement site in Castle. Gugger, you have a shotgun as your primary? I mean, I thought that secondary shotgun was enough, but apparently not. He wants to get his hands dirty with some heavy, heavy soft destruction. And again, this site, very, very easy to hold if you can play as a team, but if you lose your fatalities, that could be a problem. But apparently not for NuTorious, as they're looking to continue and build up their lead. 'Yeah, I am hoping we see him pull out that super shorty. Oh my god, no, he has a sidearm. That would have been hilarious, though. Just a little bit, eh? I mean, just 30 seconds off the clock here, and they will be looking to go for a verticality, take top to bottom. That's exactly how you want to do it, especially when you have a lot of roamers. I mean, not anymore, as Iceball, or known as Ice Cold, has retreated back to site. There still will be some soft roamers. I mean, Castle going crazy, a little bit of a heavy roam from the depths of site all the way up to Electrical with Fast and Osa just, you know, lurking around cargo here. They're going to look to become a problem for REIKAI. 100%, and as it stands, they're looking to try and address this head-on. Chicky is going to be on the front lines already, looking to find his first victim, and Gugger's still kind of going crazy out here, having a good old time. If that Logi Bomb gets deployed, though, as it's regenerating, we're going to find ourselves with Gugger slapping himself into a horrible, horrible position. I mean, you aren't low, you haven't been hit, but Doku's waiting patiently, and you're looking to make matters worse, but again, she's lurking and she's waiting. First blood goes in the favor of NuTorious as they will get rid of Real. That Deimos is always so important in terms of soft breaching as well when you want to lurk and find those roamers. Now Gugger on the front lines is going to have to deal with this head-on. A refrag will take care of Osa and Gugger at the same time, and we find ourselves with a one-man advantage here for REIKAI. Oh. 100%. I mean, when you get below that 1 minute mark as well, there's so many things you can do, but giving up your body should not be one of them. But verticality paired up with the pressure directly on site by this sentry is going to lead to the death of Fast, but Iceball reels it back in by taking care of bottom. Now, lots of things are going to need to be done here for the attackers because you haven't cleared the F-Knots nor the Banshees. You guys need to get that diffuser down, and you're going to have 2 C4 standing in your way, paired up with the defensive passive utility as well. Verticality is in your favor, but Iceball on the front lines is looking to make matters worse for this Execute. 4-0 as he currently is, looking to rip up from within. He has only taken 1 damage, 1 shot, and he looks to continue and keep it that way. The attackers forcing themselves to go for a plant, but it's just ice cold to find a triple, looking to find that 4th, but again, you just need to play your time, and the clock will run out as Ice Cold finds his next victim. What a denial! The DMR's all he needs, and he'll take care of business. 100%. I mean, I have to send us to a break really quickly just so we can have some technical difficulties fixed out. We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Our main man 4 is back. I apologize for that technical difficulty. Apparently you couldn't hear him, and my stupid self decided to turn his source off before the game started. But again, a new round. We're feeling rejuvenated. 0-2 lead here for NuTorious. I mean, they've been playing as a team. They've managed to reel it on in, and Ice has been going absolutely nuclear, whether it's on-site or isolating his ones off.
I was gonna say, it's all right, I was muted. I didn't have nothing good to say. Yeah, Iceball, just an absolute gunner. Dude has been frying him down. That last round is just like the epitome of what greatness is with a 4K. Only thing better is an ace, but that just has too much glory to it. He's getting down and dirty and absolutely proving it.
100% here, and as they'll send it off to that mid-floor warehouse site. There's so many things you can do, and the main should be to clear the verticality, take care of these defenders, and then work your way from the inside out. But it's all about what these attackers are willing to do here, what mile they're willing to go to be able to reel it back in, because having to deal with 2 roamers at once is definitely a problem. You couldn't reload in time, Hacker, so your teammate will fall in turn of that. There will be a down on the stairs. Gugger's going to be safe for now, but good will not be. A headshot is enough to deal the damage needed to finish him off, but Cheeky goes down, so one's at 20 HP. Gugger will be finished off. There's nobody near him to find that refrag, and now we'll find ourselves in a 4v3 situation.
I mean, eliminating the Ram off the board this early is definitely a lot of pain for this attacking team. She's gonna prove would have proved very vital later in these rounds. And at least the Ying is still up. I don't know what Ying just did there, flashing her own team. But getting rid of the Cav and getting rid of the Solus, you know, those are great plays.
I mean, it just looks like Iceball's favorite activities: use a DMR, select Shoddy, and deal the damage needed to find the refrags, because now he's put his team right back up at level, and he's at 7-0. I mean, he's looking to go lethal, but again, the tricky thing with soft breaches is if you peek out even your little eyebrow hair, and you are visible, a wallbang will suffice. That's exactly what will happen. Ying will capitalize, and that is the verticality taken care of. Both players are going to be back on site, but Fast will rotate up to Aqua and make a little bit of a late round flank. But still, there's a one-man advantage against them, and they're going to have to be able to work around it.
I've got a very good feeling that late round flank is about to come into play here in the next couple seconds. He's going to be, you know, in a good position. He doesn't quite have the HP I'd say he needs, but the live pings are coming in, and he is absolutely making some good rotates. As long as he can stay quiet enough and they don't get that, you know, momentary thought, and he finds one.
I mean, they look to try to have that roam go successfully, but the biggest problem is if your teammates can't stay alive on the site, then that will become a problem. You've disengaged a man who was upstairs, so you'll look to deny that plant, but you've just done it a little too late. I've never thought being too passive is going to cost you your life, but that's exactly what will happen, and a round in response will be found.
That was honestly a really great round from REIKAI. They played it pretty well, cleared out that verticality just absolutely perfect. and got rid of a lot of roamers very, very quickly. Like that entry push through into the T hole, that was just good on them. Really good aim. I mean, they lost the ram. That hurts your feelings a lot. But they're up for it. A little bit of ammo starvation on that defender side. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Y'all won the round. And we're going to be going into round 4.
I mean, the way they've been playing out as well, they have been falling a little short here to the pressure from NuTorious. But that last round proved that they can be resilient. I mean, they almost lost it to that flank. But that gunfight upstairs on those stairs, those weird lobby stairs, showed us how interesting this game can get. And the fact is, they managed to get it down, but they lost a body in that trade. And from there, they capitalized by finishing off Gugger and capitalizing by moving throughout the map, clearing electrical, and having a structured push where they eventually found Ice Ball or Ice Cold and took care of his head for the first death he's had in 3 rounds total. So they're finding their footing. But again, if NuTorious can continue to build up a lead, it becomes a problem, especially in the late stage games where you won't be able to capitalize. The best out of 3 is all about the endurance as well. We have Nighthaven right now, and it's going to be a problem if you cannot survive to get to map 3 or have a good enough map score to survive that second map as well.
I mean, I'm kind of upset, man. The Ice Ball died. That hurt my feelings just a little bit. I was kind of hoping we might see another perfect round out of that NuTorious defending team, because the whole, like, I guess, qualifiers and open or whatever, you know, led up to where we're at now, the group stage of Group A. They've only lost 3 rounds in total. If REIKAI can pull more than 3 rounds this map, I consider that a win for my team, because you know that they're, you know, it bleeds. We can kill it, make it happen. And looking now, we have some great plays. Is a lot of, like, they're going to start hacking into this defender utility.
I agree, but that clash definitely becomes a problem. You finished all 3 bans for the defensive side, meaning you're going to have to endure the pressure from this clash until you switch on to that defensive yourself. And I mean, it'll work on console, it'll work on Nighthaven, and it's going to be really difficult here for REIKAI to be able to come back from, especially with the fact that we do have console and Nighthaven on the board for tonight, and Bank being our final map makes it even worse. Just a minute 50 left on the clock here, and they're looking to address Command all by themselves. That connector, it is always so important that you can do it head on, but Gugger is going to have the protection with his flash, and is just going to risk putting up our reinforcement, and now we'll have that direct head-on play. 1 can opener between Capitao and Grim. So for a total of 2, you can open up that wall, but not having your hard breachers definitely makes this a lot harder.
I mean, I absolutely love that play from Gugger, the rush up just to make sure his team can get it. Clash is in a bit of a precarious spot, but yeah, she's still survivable, especially with the way that her rework is. But she does drop it, though.
A little bit of a risky play here, and that was a higher risk, a higher reward, but you'll walk out of that with nothing. And a little bit of toxic play here from Good. I mean, the friendly banter, I mean, you were not covered. Gugger has 80 bullets in that LMG and had to fall back. There was nothing he could do. No joy to find that, because if he went for the second swing, that would have been another refrag, and losing 2 bodies, especially including your Maestro, becomes a large problem. Even losing a clash this late in the round becomes a big problem, and this defensive is going to have to be able to try and be a little bit more of a resilient side compared to the last very dominant defenses, and try to bring it back here, as now the utility is going to start to stack up on them.
I was about to say, as we're looking, most of this defensive utility is actually being cleared out by that Bravo. She's hacked, I think, at least 4, maybe 5 gadgets so far. Wall is now open, and we even have a Deimos playing some verticality. I love watching him in Pro League, because since they've added him, there's been a lot more like downstairs basement play. And if we look over here, we do have Goyo pretty much trapped in, but the diffuser is coming.
I mean, it's going down. Gugger is on the live plan. Who the hell is watching him from connector? Shiki, you're forced to do damage control, but your player, your best friend, is below, looking to cover the verticality, looking to rush up rafters. This might be a round where you can reel it in. Just go rush the man who's planting. Osa looking to have some bullet ballerina, but eventually goes for the man who's planting. What a denial after realizing Deimos is a ways away, and what a way to be able to rein it back in. Let's take a look at that one more time. I mean, cannot ensure verticality if you're not playing like a team. You have the man sticking the plant, and for some reason Deimos is doing damage control. You need to have somebody set up in connector, even if it means sacrificing that verticality.
I mean, that was a really rough play there from REIKAI, just to not cover their guy. You know, that's the whole job. That should be your task. Is Deimos just get somewhere to provide coverage, and he was not in any position. I mean, I guess he is rotating, trying to get somewhere, but they did not have the setup. And honestly, the sixth man on the defense came into very heavy play at, you know, as soon as it ticked down to about 10, because there was nothing these attackers could do. They were out of time.
I mean, I have to ask you, how are you feeling about these attacking? Because honestly, from the way it looks to me, they're trying to do so much that they just cannot be able to execute every single time. I mean, we're trying to ensure verticality that no one is sitting close on that electrical door. I get it. But the fact is, if you're going to go for a plant, you need that coverage. And that attacking play was just not showing that.
I mean, I think they're doing a lot, and they're doing a lot of it right, but they just have themselves spread way too thin. Like, it's a 5-man team, but each job needs at least one, or like it needs at least 2. They're spreading it out so every person is their own individual player instead of being one bonded unit. And it is really showing, especially on rounds like that, where, yeah, sure, they did almost get plant down once. It was denied. If that first plant went down, we could be having a different conversation here. But to deny the first plant, second plant starts, there was not enough timing. No one was in the correct positions because they were way too spread out, playing that verticality or trying to play holes, you know, being aggressive. They lost a couple bodies early on. So it just didn't stack up quite the way this team needed to stack up to win that round.
I agree. Honestly, the teamwork is such a big spot and such a big role, especially on Nighthaven. There's so many things you need to do, but teamwork is definitely the first, especially on that attacking side. You have to be able to try and capitalize your rounds. Beautiful here is you'll be able to find first blood finished off by that DMR. Sheik will take care of good, and I mean, that regenerating goo is definitely a problem for that late stage round. We saw it previously. The F-Nauts tagged up with a bunch of the utility was a big, big problem. Now, as it stands, we know we're going to go into a tech pause, but a 4v5 and a little bit of a game restart. Maybe Good's lagging, and it should be quite interesting to see how the rest of this round is going to go when you lose that roaming Legion. Is he, what? Oh, he had a shield out.
I guess he's just chilling over there. Yeah, dude, REIKAI has been honestly very, very dominant for these opening picks. They're winning, I believe, at least 3, maybe 4 of the first picks.
Are you serious,
what the
Gugger?
Okay, that happened. Yeah, I teabag him too, dude. He deserves it.
Yeah, 100%. And will grab the cameras, especially. And now you look to isolate the second one here. Playing on that soft. Ooh, yeah, Cheeky. That's how you find first, second, and third kill. Osa reels it back in, but that plant's going to go down regardless. Just below a minute left. These defenders are now put in damage control mode as you have absolutely nothing to do as the plant goes down and you have to deal with verticality. You have to deal with your on-ones as well. What are you going to be able to do? Because now you have become the attackers and there's only 2 of you to split up all of that pressure, all of that workload to yourself. You'll take care of the Animus control. You look to try and do something here. You could even try to long arm it from the other side of the soft wall, but still, so much left to do. Almost no time to do it in, and I feel like this is going to be a confirmed REIKAI round.
Well, I mean, I think Cheeky decided, hey man, I gotta lock it in and show Iceball that he's not the only one-man army. That was a pretty good start of that round, picking first, second, and third, as well as them pulling cameras and setting up to hold that diffuser. Just amazing round from Cheeky. Now, yeah, that should have, hopefully maybe Iceball could have clutched up and diffused it, but didn't quite happen the way we were all anticipating. REIKAI pulls a second round on him, dude. I'm getting, like, pretty impressed. I got a feeling REIKAI might give him run for the money on Nighthaven.
Yeah, honestly, that's not a horrible take to say, but again, we're seeing some players definitely troll. Like, for a fact, we have Gugger playing Fortnite in the depths of lobby here, looking to isolate shotguns. That's the second time he has brought a troll shotgun to the roster. The first time it was Castles, and now it's the Super 90. The question is, what is his idea of a proper cohesive team unit on the defensive? Because sacrificing defensive units on Nighthaven is an absolute crazy way to start off your best out of 3. But again, these are final thoughts we have to address after a little break, and we will take a short technical pause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that prolonged break, but as always, we are back. I hope that wasn't too long for you. I hope you guys are refreshed because that was a lot of action to take in for. I mean, we saw the plays. You saw NuTorious kind of get carried away with their executes, but still, they're the ones who lead in this series, and they have the ability to go to a 4-2 split if they can just lock in for this round.
I mean, as much as I want the NuTorious 4-2, I really want the REIKAI 3-3 because, you know, NuTorious has been winning out a lot on Nighthaven according to the stats. I want REIKAI to show him what's up, you know. NuTorious was #1 in their bracket. I want REIKAI, who was #2 in Group B, to just kind of swing up, you know, hit the guy above him, see what happens. Kick a hornet's nest, if you will.
That hornet's nest is definitely going to be an interesting one, especially one team is trolling and the other one looks really serious, but their plays just aren't fully coordinated yet. Maybe it's just those first map nerves, but still, it's going to have to be perfect if you're looking to go to the next stage of this playoff series. And to make matters worse, to make my words a reality, also will take care of Real, and that's first blood in the favor of the defenders. I mean, this is not how you would expect the team to play together, but Zero will get a cheeky kill through a punch hole, and now it's become a lot more realistic to be able to address this verticality.
I mean, at least they brought it back to a 4-4, and they got rid of the Legion. I mean, getting rid of that active utility, something that has to build up over time, it's probably one of the best picks you can make as an attacker. But you do lose your Nomad. You know, that's kind of a sad trait. I think that's Nomad symbol. It's kind of hard to see. Losing her definitely hurts a lot, especially when you're playing against a team like NuTorious, who, as we've kind of seen, they're kind of aggressive with how they play. A lot of off-site movement, roaming around, you know, pushing themselves into where they want to be. losing a Nomad to them, gonna be a kicker later in this round.
Especially.
Just hope Dokkaebi stays up.
Honestly, yeah, if she goes down, I mean, we saw how Cheeky can be resilient in terms of finding refrags, but if he goes down, it's a big problem. Good is wasting so much time just keeping his presence up, and having so many other roamers, it becomes a problem here. The laser gives away the man that sits in the depths of warehouse, looks to walk in as well, and this is going to have to be a full retreat, as now you're going to have players addressing that backside. Zero manages to capitalize, taking care of Vigil, and that will allow the Mozzie to rotate right back into the site. But still, what we're seeing here is not of the caliber we expect to go on to the semifinal. These guys, whoever wins in between the two, is going to have to go on to versus TSG. And TSG is not a team that'll give you easy rounds or mess around once they realize that it's such a one-sided affair. They are going to capitalize, and they are going to swarm you and starve you for every single round. And hopefully, we're going to see these teams lock in by the next round or the end of this game.
I was really hoping to see the NuTorious that played all through the bracket up to here. I was hoping that they would be the ones playing, because they're the ones who only lost 3 rounds. They're looking like it, though. They did pick some speed up. But if you want to really drive that nail into the coffin, win this 4-2.
100%. With that Ice Cold looking to lurk upstairs. Might have a flank on his hands. They're going to look to go for an initial plant as Zero's looking to cover up all his angles. Seek refuge behind the pillar, but Ice Cold takes care of your Overwatch from above, and the Evil Eyes seek a problem. Capital gets a little overzealous here with his aggression and will fall to Ice Cold. SMG-11 now leaving bottom, all on site. There are 3 Evil Eyes stacked up in that corner, and Garger's right there. Up and at him with that swing, utilize all 80 bullets, and now that's the team we know. He is the pre-fire king as now. That's the split determined in a 4-2 in the favor of NuTorious.
I mean, the utility war mattered. NuTorious absolutely standing out, and I love that little rotate up by Ice Cold late in the round. You don't see many teams actually that will pull off-site, towards the end of rounds. They think, oh, we got to bunker in, we got to be ready. No, pull off-site because it's easier to retake when they don't know where you're at. And Ice Cold just showed that wholeheartedly.
I agree. What a round that was. I mean, from Gugger building and cranking 90s on the depths of lobby to playing as a unit and making the play to be able to dissect the verticality and deny the plant from above, I mean, that is a completely different team we're looking at. And that is the team that looks to try and punish round in and round out.
And, I mean, punishment has been given. 4-2. They're hitting them pretty hard. I mean, again, maybe REIKAI locks their defenses in. I'm desperately hoping to see it. And the lineup that they're bringing right now, very, very, into slowing you down and slowing a push. Hope to see some Valkyrie verticality being played, but at least the Frost and the Melusi in that Mira, the 3 of them should slow any sort of hard push that NuTorious brings almost to a halt immediately.
Hopefully, they'll be able to coordinate round in and round out, especially being on the defensive now. REIKAI, you have a lot to prove for yourselves. Let's see if you can manage to cinch it the next round and the next round, because it is a game of endurance here. And with the way NuTorious is playing, they don't stop. This is a team that will continue and punish you for all the mistakes you make once they learn that it's not all about trolling. And considering this is REIKAI's pick, they're going to have to close out the rounds. A 4-2 split is definitely achievable to make that comeback, and it's definitely going to be a problem if they can't bring it back. Going down a map, especially when it's yours, is a problem, and hopefully we're going to see REIKAI try to address that in the upcoming rounds.
Cheeky pulling himself into a cheeky little spawn peek here. Hopefully he gets a kill off it. I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. I'm liking how he plays.
I mean, it looks like they're going for a rush.
I mean, I hope they do. Everyone loves a good rush, dude.
Oh my god.
Holy!
Oh my god, is that LeBron? Look at that.
I mean, it looked like it.
C4 from the depths of hell right outside the storage window. It'll take care of 2 players, take him down to 20 HP for the remainder of the round, and now that becomes a problem for NuTorious because these 2 operators are going to have to walk on eggshells, especially when they're the ones that need to open up the breach. Bottom on the front lines looking to deny head on. Anybody that goes below is going to have to do with Cheeky, and he is ratting out close here. Good, directing the push here, looking to isolate each and every one. Cheeky's at 1 HP, but he whiffs! Good, you gotta hit your bullets. You'll regain access, and Osa goes down in trade of missing every single bullet, and now that's first blood against you. From what was supposed to be first blood, an easy kill onto the Valkyrie allows her to escape. You've lost her glass, and what a blunder that is from NuTorious.
I mean, a great pick there for REIKAI. Really love that Valkyrie. Don't know how he survived, man. I mean, Blitz, you just got to maybe hit those aim labs a little harder. You know, perfect that quick aiming. But they are starting to try and take control. They do have IT pretty much locked down, which is the start of what could be a, you know, a 2-3 prong push here. Hopefully they bring a body around over to Waterfall or through Connector, and it looks like we do have the Blitz setting that up. But Cheeky is on that roam coming up quick.
They now look to address it head on. A 4-on-4 is the name of the game as it's all evened out. Ice Cold looks to address the triple wall all by himself to open up the site and allow these angles to be created. With a minute left, you don't have an insane amount of time, but you have a viable amount of time to slow down and reset and talk about what you want to be done next. Hacker forcing these attackers to make some mistakes by swinging out, getting an easy kill here, and taking care of business. Giving that man count right back to REIKAI is going to be the main idea to giving your team the advantage and allowing them to come out on top round in and round out. But Gugger threads the needle at range and now puts it right back up to level. He's been able to do so, but Good goes down in turn. But Gugger for another here as he's not looking to go down without a fight. A 2-on-2 with just half a minute below on the clock here. The question is, what can you do with it? Frost looking to go crazy. A little bit of a mag dump will do the job. And now Gugger, you managed to find 2 kills to even it out round in and round out. But do you have what it takes to be able to win a 1vx situation? We haven't seen too many 1vx's this series, but right now it's going to continue to see no joy from those 1vx's as now REIKAI make a statement by finding a response.
I mean, that's now officially caught up for the season round count. REIKAI needs to pull this map. REIKAI needs to be the team that shoves the sword into the Giants' heel. They got to do it. They're starting to catch up. They're 1 round off of, you know, glory of catching up. Win it. Bring it back. You're on the defense. They're bringing another, it's not quite as a stalled team as what they had last time. This one seems to be a lot more utility wars based, and it will be pretty common when you're holding basement like this. Hopefully, though, we see the vertical extensions going up, because if you choose the bunker, you choose to lose.
I really do hope to God that this is going to be evened out because yet again, 4, man, this is infinite overtime. And if this continues to go back and forth, we might see a very long first map.
If this goes to infinite overtime and we get some like stupid scoreline like 22-20, I'm never talking to you again.
I mean, isn't that the best way to have our first co together?
No, it's not. No. I'll run out of material and I'll forget where I'm at.
Hey, man, it's all about the vibes. I've only had 1 infinite in my life, and that was on the finale. And that was Core to win 3-0 on 11-9 on the scoreline. And if that happens again, I don't know. Maybe I won't talk to you.
Cade, what are you doing? Please, Cade. I like that head hole. Then bro just immediately throws it out. First pick going to NuTorious, though.
Gugger again, man. He's been lethal on those first picks. He knows how to take care of business. I mean, once he's not building with shields, but he's been looking like a person who knows how to get first blood. But now he might be easily fragged out as that C4 right above on his doorstep. What a way to utilize your utility, and I bet you weren't expecting a cam to be right there. And now we find ourselves with Mozzie crazy on the rafters roam. Zero feeling a little bit relieved, and now an even man count.
I mean, that's exactly how everyone likes to see a Valkyrie be used. Like, that's the whole key to that operator, and it played into their favor for once on this round. Haven't really seen too much of that, you know, leading up to this. I definitely want to see a lot more of it after, because, you know, it works. Is there anybody even off site now? I think we do see 1 or 2 people up there. I'm hoping to see that this Mozzie gets a couple kills. He has to. He's in Prime's positioning.
You know what? Watch this prediction. He set that drone up so he can go play verticality. As long as he stays weary of the players on that first floor, he's going to have a great old time, but he's running... No way you lose that. He's running Mach 10 down Aqua Stairs. Good possesses one of the best ARs in the game and can't take him out. With only the Commando 9 in hand, he's only 1 HP. That's a refrag from Ice Cold, but after what? The spearhead of your attack has been completely ripped off, and now you got to deal with the man advantage. There's none anymore. It's left at level. The walls aren't open. You're at a massive disadvantage. The utility is going to stack up against you, especially with the fact that this team is playing very, very passive.
And I'm actually really surprised to see NuTorious playing this slow. You know, they clearly show a very high caliber of gun skill. They showed time in on these last couple rounds that they have no issues running in and just gunning them down. Like looking back to round 1, that double jump out, and they're just not bringing that play back in.
Where the hell's Cheeky going? Cheeky looking to immigrate to the depths of Aqua, but bottom will take care of fast while we wait for that to happen. Just 30 seconds left, and a plant's going to have to happen. It's going to have to go down. The C4, one of them is out of sight, and the other one is going to be right next to it. The question is, are you watching that cross to make matters worse? Cheeky from the top ropes thinks he's Randy Orton, just can't land a headshot. Easily shot out here from Ice Cold, and now we find ourselves in a 1vx situation. C4, no joy. The plant successfully is going to get stuck for the second time with Osa watching the cross, but you're only going to be one shot to the depths and the damage from that TCSG, but Osa has enough gun skill, has enough patience to be able to isolate that one and win it.
I mean, they played it perfectly, baited that C4 out, and then, yeah, the top rope dive. Wasn't quite sure a Swanton bomb was what was needed to win that round, and it definitely didn't help them because it got shut down pretty fast.
I don't know. Like, a lack of judgment wouldn't even begin to cover what we're seeing, because I would expect that from NuTorious, but from a team that is looking to come back on their own map, what the hell was that?
You know, it was definitely a play of magnitudes. He hit the ground, and I think an earthquake alarm went off in Cali somewhere. Could be wrong.
God.
Definitely not expected. I mean,
I can't say
I thought he was gonna play hatch. I have seen way worse. I cast console, but I thought he was gonna play hatch.
We could have seen worse, but again, we are seeing worse. It's 3-5 on the scoreline. NuTorious are knocking on the door of the match point, and they still have some very obvious problems. We're watching our Ashe, our Spearhead, not being able to capitalize on first blood, and still, we still find REIKAI gifted these olive branches and yet cannot capitalize. And I think that's exactly why NuTorious are trolling. They think they know exactly what they're doing, and they do. Their gun skill, as you mentioned before, is of a different caliber. They can execute, they can capitalize. But right now, that final nail on the hammer is going to have to be seen from REIKAI. That's exactly what they're looking to do, is they're going to get overly aggressive, and it's going to pay off as Gugu goes down yet again first as the Thatcher.
I mean, a Thatcher pick hurts.
It really
always hurts. Especially once a Kaida puts a slug right through his face. Good swing by him, though. You got to give full props to that. Really crazy play to try and leave this wall fully open. Usually you don't give him a jump through, but I guess that jump through was the only thing that counted that kill into his favor.
Candela's only connecting with Glad, a little bit of friendly fire here, but again, there's one man residing close on that storage door, capitalized on the first, and now a little bit of panic mode here for the attackers because they're going to have to do something here. Glass can reel it in. Osa, a refrag, almost imminent, but that hop-up isn't to allowing of various angles, and now you'll have bottom to go down instead. Ice Cold looking to help out his team here. He's 14-4. He is not here to mess around, as now a 3v2. They've managed to reel it back in from losing bodies on the breach, from losing it on the verticality, has now become 10 times more realistic here for NuTorious. You still have to be very aware of your surroundings here. C4 looking to get sent out, missed completely. Ice Cold given access to sight. He now has the key, as everybody that resides upstairs is going to be the ones who are on the roam. Osa just needs to have a little bit of a rotate here. Watch the cross, and we find ourselves in a very attacker-dominated half, but still, the Valkyrie cameras are going to prove to be very difficult to have to deal with. Now, you have a lot to try to do. The C4 isn't thrown yet, or it's rather shot out the sky. Cheeky, 1 HP. Rio looking to deny the verticality, but missing very heavily. Where the hell was that C4 going? Missed completely. C4 looking to get tossed again. That's 3 C4 misses in a minute and a half. These defenders are asking questions. They do not have the substance to answer, and now we find ourselves in a very dominated NuTorious half. Just 1 round shy of that match point, and now you cannot find a single REIKAI utility being used for the better, as now we find ourselves with only 16 seconds left. Take into account the counter defuse timer as well, and this is an impossible situation for REIKAI, as now we are 100% going to match point on the first.
I think Iceball just had to have that, moment to prove that he is him, that he is the main character of this story. With the plant rush in and then just shoot the vertical to almost kill the Mozzie off of it, he's that guy today. He's locking in, showing it up, putting his team on match point. Pretty much opened his backpack this morning and said, "Jump in, lads, we're winning a game." And yeah, he started walking with them.
I should have clipped it. I need to know. I need to know what those C4s were. Mozzie's trying to throw C4s through a floor downwards. We have one man just absolutely missing his first, canceling it, and then going again and throws it in the middle of the room. And Valkyrie died as she tried to take care of Ice Cold vaulting in. That is 3 missed C4s in a matter of 1 minute and 30 seconds. That has to be changed.
I'm not sure what that Valkyrie C4 was. She should have thrown that thing way earlier. Like, you have the sound key. You can hear him out there shuffling on the boards. The fact that it was never thrown makes me question, are they paid to throw?
You think so?
I don't know. How rich is NuTorious?
I mean, some definite known names, but I wouldn't say they're rich. They don't got that Saudi money.
Hey, man, that oil money hits hard.
I mean, 100%. You see what's happening with the Falcons. I mean, pay to lose. I mean, now they're doing better in the EML, but even if they were losing, that bread is there for a reason. Match point it is if we're reeling it back in to reality. NuTorious now are looking to steal that first map away from REIKAI, even if it is not their own pick. We head on over to Consulate next, which is going to be NuTorious's pick, so it'll be a little interesting to see how REIKAI will be forced to adapt. You do have a little bit of a buffer in between maps to be able to reel it back in, talk about what went wrong and what you can do to change. But again, that needs to be the most self-analytical moment of this series, especially when most of NuTorious is trolling and they're able to find success. You see it firsthand here. Gugger is literally lurking, finds first blood, and has now been gifted the gateway to sight. Has full control here of command, lurks in with little to no punishment, looks to thread that second needle, but again, these defenders are asking questions, but they have no substance to answer it. Something finally going in their way. Frostman to take care of Gooden. Gugger goes down as well, and a 4v3 is the main name of the game.
I think if Gugger had his team on his back right there, that could have been the end of the round already.
It really could have been.
The fact that he walked right in, like, I'm not sure, I couldn't tell who it was through the wall because I'm a little pixelated watching. But the fact they let him just storm through, take sight, take control, and then find a body off of it, your Mira, nonetheless, that makes you question a lot of what is REIKAI holding. That's a direct line of sight in.
Osa looking to get his hands dirty here. It's a little bit misleading. Glass Osa here looking to address that site head on. Pops that Mira. A little bit of soft destruction just to make sure here. And that'll be bottom to look to capitalize on that. And there's no way. Did he just... Are you serious? Don't do it again! It didn't work the first time. What do you think is going to happen when you grab it in a second?
Do it. Do it.
They look to address that site head on. That shotgun in the close range just can't finish it off. I don't really know what he thought was going to happen there. You get a little overzealous and it's going to deal the damage needed to be able to have that man advantage in the favor for REIKAI yet again. A 3v2, the name of the game, and still a minute 10 gives plenty of time for these attackers to try and capitalize. We've seen them win worse situations.
What the heck is this? How are they letting that go on? REIKAI, you can see the top of it. Yeah. I mean,
like, Valkyrie
he's kneeling there.
She has that position to be able to check it. It's all about playing in the corner. That positioning gets her one. Instant trade in a 1v2. What a way to put in the shift. Glass at an automatic disadvantage just because of his loadout. But still, smokes are possessed, and he's going to go for a plant? Hello? Guys? React?
I think they've just given up. They're having fun this round. After the Gugger rush, they don't expect much.
They're going to let it go down. Are you serious? Isolates the one. It's going to be a trade. Thank the Lord. We are going to have REIKAI success as the map end is going to be prolonged by just 1, 4-6. The deficit's closed out to 2. And hopefully, we're not letting Glass plant in the middle of the smoke next round.
That was a play. I can't describe that.
Yeah, that is.
Because it just shouldn't have happened. There's a lot on REIKAI here that I'm just questioning of, you know, their team communications. Are they just not seeing calls or not making calls? Or are they trying to hero play it? Like, the Gugger rush in should have been called. There was someone on the other end of that 90 hall at the bottom of Blue Stairs who should have heard it and made a call. There was no, I assume, no call made because the instant swing taking the Mira down. The headshots that should have happened to the Grim as he's placing that hard breeze charge, just not there. There's so much that they're just letting these attackers have on map-wise that they shouldn't be given. Hopefully this round cleans it up a little bit. You know, coming off a round win always boosts your confidence and boosts your playstyle. So that's what I'm hoping to see, is another boost for themselves.
If I see another Gugger Rush, I might just scoot my eyes out. I'm tired of it. I mean, high risk, high reward, but it's a little bit of a stupid risk and a stupid reward, and it's paying off. He actually dissected the pressure from command by taking care of that mirror, and that was a valiant effort because it was a troll, but it actually was a legitimate way to dissect the hold and the integrity of this defensive. Now, REIKAI have a lot to address, but 2 rounds as a comeback is definitely possible, and I hope to God they can make it happen because losing like this is definitely going to be a problem.
I'm desperately playing for the REIKAI comeback because I like to see kings fall. It just, I was raised on watching the heroes walk away after, you know, smacking down the giant, smacking down the king. We see a Blackbeard in play, though, getting aggressive up on that Mira because there's no holes made yet. They're slow on setting up a lot of this utility for defense.
It will be punched out, so you're going to have real flying blind. Can opener will be successfully used. It won't be popped, so no easy headshots are going to be made. As it stands, you're going to have the Deimos addressing the site pressure head-on, paired up here with Osa. Blackbeard, that spearhead of the attack now. I mean, we have seen Good playing Ash, but he hasn't been able to find any joy, and that means he'll be playing on that Deimos. Currently, as it stands as well, there are 2 players who combined for 30 on the team of NuTorious. Everybody else is falling short. Good. One of those people who are falling short is currently 2 and 10. That's a problem. Osa capitalizing. It's 14. Make it 31 combined frags is now. Everybody else needs to step up if you guys want to find joy.
I mean, I'm still throwing some favoritism. I hope Iceball locks it in, bro. You know, he's what, 17 and I can't read his stat lines. 17 and 5. I mean, shoot for 21, bro. Finish it out. Get the 4K. And he's absolutely capable of it. However, his team, you know, needs to maybe, okay, just, yeah, you see a drone dead, you throw a drone into it. That's a play. They need to work on how they're pushing this because they seem kind of very spread out. They don't have a general consensus of what they want to do. I see some verticality coming upstairs, but not enough to actually make that vertical push. Blackbeard is face checking the world, trying to get in there. They know that there's a guy IT, and they're pushing him off. Very smart play. But Plant is coming down.
Plant getting stuck. Gugger prevails. Now we have ourselves in a 4-to-6 situation with a 7-man count. Now, the defenders have now turned into the attackers, and there's full verticality established. That shotgun, do not mistake it to be very easy to deal with. It will punish you if you get close to it, and Cheeky knows this. Looking to isolate that one head-on. Osa, wasting time on the verticality. Teams up, sets up fast for an easy kill, and now Gugger still looking to dissect that man who's looking to defuse, and now Cheeky left all by his lonesome. Downstairs, 1 HP, injured, wounded, looking to prevail, and now that's mapped due to Osa. We head on to Consulate in regulation, and what a first map that is for NuTorious.
Listen, if you're REIKAI, don't take this as a loss. You've pulled more rounds in one game than they've lost in a whole season. Take that as a win, move on, take the next map. It's Consulate. Nighthaven, while they didn't pick it, it was their map. So just lock it in a little bit. You know, next map's a lot easier. You know, what side are they starting on for next map?
I'm going to guess they're going to go on the attacking because it is going to be, the way they play, it becomes an attacker-sided map. But the dynamic bans are a problem. The way they play is going to be a problem for REIKAI to be able to reel it back in. But, I mean, what a first map. They managed to starve out their opponent's map from them, and we head on to a very favorable NuTorious map. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have been enjoying so far, make sure to leave a follow. I mean, this has been the first co-cast on this channel, so I hope you guys are enjoying. We will see you guys after a swift break. Grab a quick refresher, do a pull-up, a jumping jack, or whatever sparks your insignia, and we'll be back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Consulate is next on that chopping block. I mean, what a first map to really show us what is up. I mean, the teams, it was 4-7, but it just didn't feel that way. It was closer and closer, maybe due to a little bit of NuTorious trolling, but it is going to be the final scoreline we will see. REIKAI just haven't been able to capitalize those last rounds, and when NuTorious plays as a unit, once they learn how to play like a unit, we see it become such a one-sided affair. So I really hope Consulate can be that difference maker, but I just don't think so far. I mean, this is going to be NuTorious's pick, and I think it's going to be a very one-sided affair.
I mean, I'm hoping to see that. I'm actually surprised the last map wasn't NuTorious's pick based off of their history, how well they did on the map. But let's look at opening picks for 2 seconds. REIKAI dominated the start of every round. It was 6-4 on opening picks. REIKAI just unloading the chamber on it. The LeBron C4 is something that really stuck out to me. Sure, they didn't capitalize that great, but it was still just a huzz it, and you could have had the round at your fingertips. Taking NuTorious like 4 rounds off NuTorious though, it's still a great stat for them. Now for this map too, I'm hoping defenders pick it up a little bit. REIKAI starting that defense should lock it in, play some vert.
Now, I like that last point. Play some vert. If you guys do turn your attention to this A chassis, there is not a single place that is safe. Verticality from every single side is always a guaranteed factor. Now, as that stands, you need to be careful with how it's played out, because if you bring that pulse, if you bring that denial, and you can't substantiate it, if you lose control of mud as well, you're screwed. Simply, and that is honestly what I see most teams do on this defensive, but it's a big statement from REIKAI to try to do this first, and I'm excited to see how they'll play it out.
I think if they take this stand here and they win it, like this first round, it's going to be a major proving factor to how the rest of this map could go. I'm all in for all 3 today. I think that's going to be great.
Oh, God.
But it just, a lot of it is determined by REIKAI and how they decide to hold this.
Now, I mean, there's different levels to this game, man. And just look at how Ying decided to play it out. She shotgunned off the floor and sent the Candela down to mask any form of entry. But they didn't commit. They heard that blind spray from the pulse, and the first Candela bounces, meaning it won't be as easy. Utilizing all Candelas to open this up. They really want that server
Holy
control.
crap.
And they're in for an interesting surprise once they get down there. They're going to realize that the split also is soft. So if they clear this properly, we're in a beautiful spot here.
Yeah, the Monty eating that much damage this early on is definitely not great. He's supposed to be your tank. He's supposed to be your Reinhardt in this situation. Move in there, take control. And being at 1 HP, he really can't do that. So hopefully this Yang decides to, fill his role there. And running in, she absolutely will.
I mean, Fast also possesses 3 surges. That means he can take a sweet old time to reset his Monty here. But the main idea should be, let's not let our Monty go down. Should keep him alive for as long as possible. They look to address this side head on. And it's a big problem with the way they're going to play this if it doesn't play into the attacker's favor. Cheeky looking to make matters worse, takes care of Gugger. Pulse still is here. No C4 though. Cheeky getting taken care of makes matters worse here for these defenders. A man advantage, a deficit to have to deal with, and Pulse looking to isolate his ones with a shotgun at the long range. Fast going down in turn with the first man going down means a leveled off play here. In just 70 seconds on the clock means NuTorious know they're going to need to get aggressive before that pressure is going to build up on them. Beautiful teamwork between Ice Cold and Osa, but Ice Cold is just the man you want for this task. Dokkaebi dissects that pressure and wins her one on that first floor archive site. And what a way to bring it back from being down a body to reeling it back in, coordinating, and giving yourself that first round.
I mean, I love the way that Monty knew where his teammate was. The comms were being made, and Monty just immediately force pushed the pulse in. That's kind of your key job. He had no HP to do it. Like, it was all just a fear factor that seeing a shield brings into a defender's mind. And that pulse decided, I'd rather just skedaddle unknowingly into the darkness, straight into, I believe that was Ice Cold standing above the nail him.
Whew. Well, that is a definite first round to show us how the pace is going to be set. I mean, they had a game plan to dissect that pressure from below, especially with the fact that there was that shotgun. It's only semi-automatic, but it is very, very fast firing, meaning that's a problem once you get close to it. Now, as it stands, there are a lot of questions being asked of REIKAI, and they cannot find answers, and they are still on that losing streak. if we consider the last round of the last map.
I've got one really, really good question for REIKAI. What was the plan really with the pulse? Like, did he use the C4 early on? He had it there, didn't he? He should have used
it
oh,
very, very early. And that is the problem with using your utility. You either bring a smoke to bring a backup, but again, you have to be able to time out and space your utility. As of now, we just didn't see that, and that was a big, big problem for REIKAI. Hopefully, they'll be able to bring something back, but with the way the site is looking, they don't have the hatch reinforced. They have almost nothing. Their Valkyrie's crazy on her own, and they're looking to address server.
I mean, I guess they want to do a long hold here. It is so far kind of paying off. They do have to pick up some of that HP advantage. They just need to actually lock into hold. Like, they're kind of not digging their heels, and they're just letting them walk forward. As we see here, the Monty is getting ready to push down through into that server side downstairs. And it's pretty much free game for him if he decides to walk in there.
But just look at how REIKAI are playing. I get what you're trying to do, but you guys have not been able to capitalize round in and round out. An extensive verticality, I don't think is the greatest idea, especially with this amount of control being established. I mean, Legion is looking to get lucky here from the depths of break, but you only have verticality on Divisa. What are you going to do when you realize that they flooded site and you have no responses for it? Still, you have to go up against the shield up who's at full HP. Gugger has 150 bullets on that belt of an LMG. And if you guys get on the receiving end, even if it's a troll loadout, it's not going to be fun. He's gonna watch the flank. He knows that laser is just given up to Legion, but now they're rushing this execute even with 90 seconds left, and this means it's definitely gonna be a one-sided affair. First blood goes into the favor of NuTorious.
I'm a die-hard vert play. You know, I love it. What makes this game just something, you know, separate from any other game you can ever play. It's not Call of Duty. It's not, you know, Halo. The vert is what makes Siege. However, they just haven't been playing it quite as well as they need to because they're always on the opposite side of where an attack is pushing from. Either split the vert up, have someone watching each section, and then rotate as needed to play it, or give the vert up altogether.
100%. And RK from bottom manages to find one, but Hacker for two on the double as now they've reeled it back in. Good, all by his lonesome. Flawless narrowly avoided, but still the case is left loose. Below a minute left, and you have no answers to the aggression from these defenders. I mean, it was all building up in NuTorious's favor. That phantom pressure as well from the hatch was going to be in their favor. Even if it wasn't popped, they were just eyeing it, considering it was soft. But now, a 4v1 is a big problem to have to deal with, and I think this is definitely just going to be a round to tie it up as a formality before NuTorious figure out how they're going to want to attack next.
I've got a lot of faith in this Bravo locking in. It's a 1v4, but that's only, you know, 4 bullets if you do the math right. Swinging in, getting a nice pick.
I mean, what math are we doing here? Layman's? The Evil Eyes waste enough time for the Brava not to be able to progress throughout the site. Finds a little bit of a charity kill, but not enough to find the players who guard the site with their dear life in the case as well. As now, as a response from REIKAI, we find ourselves at level.
I mean, a one headshot game, man. 1 bullet's all you need. And they didn't push it quite right. I mean, they had the right idea of take that server side. I just think they kind of collapsed a little bit too quick on it. They didn't clear out quite as well as they should have, or maybe didn't drone out as well as they should have. It was a nice idea push, just poorly executed.
I agree. And now, again, this is one of the sites that is a test of faith. And I feel like REIKAI know this with the amount of utility they've brought. I feel like they avoided it for a reason. They're bringing the Tachanka to bounce those Shmikas off the flag if it's going to be a rush. They're going to bring the Shmikas if they want to play it off catering. They have the smoke, they have the Warden, they have the Goyo, and they have the Malusi as well. You'd feel like they were defending North Korea at this point. It is honestly about denying the rushes and denying the plants. But again, with the amount of denial and traps you've brought, you're going to have to wonder if it's going to be a little overkill. And I think REIKAI is nervous about this site, and I think everything is going to be evident throughout this round.
I mean, they're bringing what I often consider the D-Day loadout, which is just, you know, full deny, full slow down. However, as we all know how D-Day worked out, the attackers pushed through. I think if they manage to either bait the Tachanka into wasting or bait him into a bad swing, it's going to clear up a lot of this, you know, confusion of the push. It will turn it into just such a simple, easy one. Sure, they have a smoke on the board. He's not quite as much of a threat as what he used to be. And the Goyo, just don't get fired off, man. It's pretty simple. I got a feeling we're going to see a very tactical, quick push in from NuTorious that's either going to A, bypass all the traps, or B, they're just going to walk right through them even as they start hitting.
Bring back Smoke's shield, most unnecessary nerf of all time. They're looking to try and build something up here. But again, the Vulcans reside close on that window, and it's a problem once we get carried away. That's usually why we see an Amaru on the site, because once that first Vulcan gets popped, they can exit the premises. Hopefully there is a drone that is going to look in the corner. There isn't. Gugger has the initial idea of playing from below. His Nomad, his ARX is enough of a powerful weapon to connect via soft breach. The floor bang is successful, but you've still lost the first person that you were relying on to win this plant. Fire isn't close enough for it to be able to affect Osa, meaning this is going to be a successful plant. Zero looking to deny the plant head-on alongside with Rio, but Osa's completely gone, guarding this case, and verticality just needs to be established. But now, as these defender bodies fall, the sides have been switched, and they're going to have to get a lot more aggressive than they've already been, and they're just going to get picked off one by one. Just a 3v2. There's still that repel connected. Hackers below, and there is such a large amount of space between these two defenders. You couldn't possibly imagine any form of teamwork in such a bad situation like this, in a double kill between Gugger and Fast. Close out the round, and that is a 2-1 advantage in the favor of NuTorious.
As I just stated, man, you're going to see NuTorious pick up that speed. They see all the traps. The only way to get past the trap is to run through it. You know, it can't slow you down that much, and that's exactly how they played it. The traps are just to buy time. If you use time to your advantage and be quick, you bypass the whole point of that utility. And that is exactly what they did there. Diving in that window, sure, they lost a body, but eh.
They didn't know they could bounce it off the flag.
They didn't?
No, they're the friendly banter. It's a tip. I mean, it could come off as egotistical, but it is a genuine tip. If you bounce off the Shmikas off the right side of that flag, it is an easy denial. But I guess they didn't get that memo, and now they're going to try and play off that archive site yet again.
I mean, I never had that memo either.
You're a caster. It's different.
Hey, I used to be a player, man. Back in the day, I was Uncle Gunner, man.
Back in the 50s.
Don't hurt me like that. I'll leave.
The retirement home.
All right. Packing my things. I'll see you later. It's good talking to you. Good knowing you. I'm going to call my mom and cry for like 20 minutes.
She does need to give you a hug, man. It must be tough being about 50.
I'm only 23. I'm not even at the halfway point yet. I just turned 23.
Happy belated.
16 days ago.
From turning 50.
All right. Yep.
Focusing on a little bit of current events here, I mean, they're going to be going onto a little bit of a different play here. Initially, we saw the Ying play the verticality in Visa and try to dissect it head-on, but now they look to be addressing Garage head-on. Somehow, Bottom gets fried through the hatch, loses first blood, and now we find ourselves in a 4v5. REIKAI losing first blood and having the immense pressure built up. Good. Taking care of Hacker. Pulse gone now, and the phantom pressure from above, that's definitely going to become a problem. So much time, and they're still taking their sweet old time. As NuTorious is one of those teams that'll always have their foot on the gas, but when it's warranted, they will reset, take their sweet old time, and play verticality.
You know, for a team that was, I mean, it was a quick push in, but at the same time, it wasn't nuts. They moved in and just cleared bodies as they had to. They weren't chasing kills down. They weren't full sprinting. And now I believe we're going to see some of that verticality being played up there by the Fuse.
A 2v5 situation. Cheeky getting desperate, looking for that aggression, not knowing which angle to check first, but will eventually come out victorious. A lot of map control reestablished on this bottom floor, as now he'll take care of Ice Cold. He was going nuclear in terms of roam clearing and taking care of the bodies that were standing in between himself and the site, but still, a 4v2 is no easy task to come back from, but it looks like these two are up for the task as they'll reel it back into just a one-man deficit. the cams have been hacked, so they'll capitalize. We'll shoot out the Valkyrie camera so the intel isn't given about the man who resides in the depths of servers. Still though, a man disadvantage is always going to prove to be fateful, as now we are going to see only Rio left by his lonesome in the depths of the server 90 hall. Right on the door of sight, but still with the amount of pressure being built up, there's still going to be a problem here if you guys can't play as a team. If he can lurk and take care of this man who sits close, it's going to be an easy denial. But right now, who's watching the cross? Apparently nobody. Why would you throw a C4?
I think because his back was put out so that he was turtling himself in for that plant. C4 wasn't a bad play, but he definitely should have tried to keep his gun up in C4 after diffuser went down. Good call for a timeout there, REIKAI. I mean, trying to, maybe reset the mental just a little bit. Bit of a thrown round. That play back in server was a good play to make. He just did not pull the gunny up in time to make it.
We're throwing C4s when the man sits right next to you, and only the reason that you were heard was the rip of the Velcro. Dokkaebi could have given a calm out as well, but still, you had the Monty sitting right next to you and two attackers completely a ways away from him, holding his cross from clock, and the other one is above waiting to knock questions on archives. There are problems that need to be addressed. So, again, a timeout. It's a valiant effort to try to reel it back in. But it's a 1-3 differential, and you are the ones on the defensive. What are you going to be able to do in a 2-round deficit where you guys cannot find a single inch of leeway? As now, there is a streak being built up from NuTorious, and it's looking a little unanswered here.
I mean, NuTorious definitely looks like they locked it in from that last map. Everyone playing a lot smarter, and like I said, they're pulling more aggressive, but they're not hunting for kills. They're just kind of, we'll push them as we clear it. We got the better reflexes. We do have the better firearms on this team. As we come across issues, we clear it. They're not full sprinting in. They're not diving in. They're not swanton bombing through a hatch like we've seen already. They're just making smart clears, and that is something big that I've noticed for this team. REIKAI couldn't really organize quite the direct pushes, couldn't quite organize a good split push. NuTorious, so far, their direct pushes have been good. Their phantom pressures have been working. They have everything locking in to win this. I got some good feelings about what this team can do in the future.
I mean, just to even have that cherry on top, I mean, usually the teams that call timeouts are the ones that play the following round and emerge victorious. But still, with the way that REIKAI is playing, I can't say I'm a full believer, but I do think it's possible. You can't be too one-sided, especially with the way they've been playing, but still, they have to be able to play as a unit. It is unacceptable that we're allowing them to find entry picks on a man on a hatch just 30 seconds in. And right now, NuTorious's main idea is to create as much chaos so they can find that thread, pull on it until there's nothing left, and find themselves in the middle of the site with that plank going down.
And that's just been something that NuTorious has been great at. They're exploiting the weaknesses as they find them. They're not just saying, oh, here's the push we're going to make in our heads and we're going to do it from the start of the round. Like, we've seen that maybe once.
Oh,
but there's a lot of utility being dedicated to this one. It's
God.
a 5-man rush. And plant will go down.
They're looking to stick it in an odd spot, so easy verticality can't be a problem. Zero taking care of good, but that's not the man who's planting. Gugger right below the place where you can hide off the overhang. The evil eye. No joy, a 1v4, make it a 3, but that LMG is gonna go crazy, but the defenders have one of their own. A little bit of sit in the corner and spray, hold down that mag, as now an odd angle from Hacker reels it back in, and this is what I mean. You cannot allow this amount of trolling. Thank God they won each and every one of those gunfights, as now a 2-3 situation as we approach the last round of defending here for REIKAI.
I mean, I don't know what I expected from the attack. Just as I was giving them good praise on playing smart and playing around the map and making good decisions, we see a 5-man dive through door. Now, it would have worked had you kept 2, maybe 3 guys outside. They lost a lot of picks as they made that entry play. Diffuser was down, that's half the round already won. You just had to survive. And then the Finka left in a 1v4, not bad. She cleared it up to at least a 1v3, trying to, edge out some favor for herself. But just at the end of the day, man, you need an extra body to help cover, and they did not have it.
I mean, lots to do for NuTorious, but REIKAI have more issues to deal with. I think that is why it is the main problem. A little bit of a mentor-mentee moment between the two rounds ago when they were told how to deny correctly with the Shmikas. Hopefully they'll be able to apply their learning and show us why they're here to play. But if not, if we see this as another 4-2 split, we're going to find ourselves in a one-sided affair while NuTorious switch to the defensive of their own map.
You know, I'm kind of hoping that they don't like Shamika it right, because I think it's just going to be hilarious. That's a for the memes type moment. But they do have more utility set up on there than what we've seen REIKAI making. Yeah, they have a beeper, so they at least are alerted at a full dive in. However, they do not have that guy playing that little half desk.
I think that's my PC's way of telling me I'm going to implode in a couple of minutes. But
Yeah, I've seen a couple seconds of lag there.
Yeah, not lag. It's the uppercut. If I upped your feed, I think that's what just happened. But as long as you're viewing in clarity, they do.
Oh, you can turn me back down. I'm good.
As they were talking about previously, denying the breach. We saw how the Shimikas were mishandled, but now it's going to be even more difficult to be able to utilize them because they have that Amaru, meaning she can go quickly into the building off that rush and go right back out if there is going to be a man who sits with the flames in there to detonate them. But as of now, Gugger looks to be the man who drives a wedge in between the rotations of Fisa, waiting for somebody to play either verticality or run down the stairs with their head chopped off. But still, as the time runs down, NuTorious look to build up that pressure by opening up every surface possible.
I mean, already a lot of time off the board here, and there's still like no full push entry to this building. There's no good map control taken. Hopefully off this phone call, we're going to see some good pushing, and it looks like we will see a good pick go to NuTorious, and up comes Gugger.
There is going to be a man sitting right on that shield. Somehow, Gugger walks out of that unscathed. One bullet of damage, wins his second. You can't do that. You can't allow him to do that. Round in and round out. He finds consistent. Oh my God, no. A flawless round, and Gugger for that triple. Are you serious? I need to take a look at that one more time. The quick blade off of the rappel, you expect him to walk out of it dead, but still, this last kill where he gets to just fly up, it's absolutely insane. Play as a team. You just started playing off a timeout. You won one round, and the next just looks like an absolute disaster class. 4-2 is the split. One away from a large difference that they can't find themselves coming back from.
I mean, that's, you know, as we were saying about NuTorious, that's how they're playing smart. Like, they're making the plays as they need to. Now, that was a kind of a rush heavy round there, especially from Gugger chasing those kills down. Not the norm of what we've noticed off NuTorious, but still just, they outgunned, they outplayed. You know, the smart play to dive up that hatch into that little kitchen area, you don't expect that. You don't, you know, you see the Amaru, you expect a window push. And they're just making good clears, taking good ground, and just move by move. It's a chessboard, and they are taking every pawn they can.
I mean, that was an insane play. That might have been the craziest thing I've seen. Because what the hell? What the hell is REIKAI doing? You're now on the attacking of a very heavy map to play, and it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to come back from it. Hopefully this rush that you're trying to plan on the console window is enough to close that difference down to just one.
I mean, if they can shut down that little bit of round differential, yeah, that's happening. If they can shut down that round differential and pull themselves up and, you know, take some good ground, I hope REIKAI is able to lock it in quite like we've seen NuTorious. However, NuTorious with a good first pick. They're just,
oh my God,
REIKAI's losing too many bodies.
What is he doing? Are you? Nice. What does one say to that? The site is on the second floor, and Gugger is going on a trip. Along with Good, these boys... Are you serious, bro? Is it possible to ban somebody as the caster?
Can we try?
Yeah, call in the admins. Are you serious? They're down 2 bodies, keep in mind. And 2 of them are out the building. Okay, Good's back inside. Gugger's playing Fortnite.
I mean, to be fair, though, think about it from the perspective as the players in game. That little red blinking light is going to be the most irritating, annoying thing you've ever seen. So unless they can clear sight and just
walk in. Yeah.
Even ignoring it, though, it's center screen. It's like, you have to see that. So, I mean, they hope to maybe take sight here and leave Gugger alive out there. They don't need to waste a body pushing him, and I think they're going to try to.
some reason my audio started masking. That should fix up, but Shiki was the one trying to address that from outside. Looked to funnel his way back in after he realized clearing Gugger was a lost cause. And still, it's a man disadvantage here for the attackers. They'll take care of one man lurking, but the C4 from the depths of hell connects onto bottom. Hacker reels it back in. Too much pressure, and it'll be good to land the bullets with that Deagle. Takes care of business, and what a C4 toss that was.
I mean, that's one of those mom get the camera moments for NuTorious. They're full on trolling.
I mean,
there's not much to say about that. They are just having fun.
if you're not having fun while playing Siege, then you're normal. But this is unacceptable. What is he doing?
I mean, I was about to say, I don't think I've had fun playing Siege in a very long time. But playing with a stack like NuTorious might be something that would take the cake.
Yeah,
That's like the OG Siege experience of how the game's meant to be played.
I mean, 1 round shy of the match point, and it's going to be quite interesting for NuTorious to be able to try and push it to the match point. It's going to be interesting. It's not like it's going to be hard because it looks like REIKAI have just completely given up. They're not playing as a unit. They're not bringing what's needed, and it's just all crumbling apart.
Dude, and remind you, this is the game that puts us into semifinals. Whoever wins this, we'll be playing against, I believe, True Synergy, or TSG. So, like, this matchup, NuTorious has to win. I know they want to win. They're showing they want to win, but for it to be kind of a meme fest, that's insulting. And we have Gugger doing it again.
Are you... Mother... I almost just dropped the first F-bomb during casts on this channel. Gugger, what are you doing? Did he pop it?
That can't be the first, right?
No, I think it is. I think it is. I'm usually a conservative person. I'm a respectful person. I'm a professional person. But I'm not professional when Gugger's restructuring the map from the external and not a single attacker has something to say about it.
I mean, what the flip, dude?
Yeah, that's a way to say
That's
it.
the best we're going to get. The flip. Hopefully REIKAI is able to get a good push in. We see they already have some decent map control in here taking. They just got to be able to push Osa out. They got to be able to take some, some actual heals in the ground here.
Are you serious? Thermite walks out with 1 HP because that Blackbeard is pushing into that pressure from yellow. But how are we allowing him to sprint fully upstairs, outside, ring around the rosy, and call it a day? Verticality, finally established. Now it's looking a little bit more realistic for REIKAI. They still have yet to open up the breaches, but Thermite still possesses both of his exothermics, so they're just waiting for I don't know what, because there is no denial on that breach.
Thermite is about to not be possessing his life, depending how he plays this.
Yeah,
nice
Volcan
job cleaning up
was the
some kills,
problem as
though.
well.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot take a single tick of damage. Good. Double teaming with Fast upstairs. But Ice Cold will be denied on the site in the meantime. No refrags have yet to be found yet. But still, if you establish this verticality control, it is going to be horrible for these attackers to have to deal with. But Fast cannot find joy in a 1v5. Finally, REIKAI are looking alive. As one man does need to plant, he'll go seek refuge behind the chassis. Will get to... No, he won't! Are you serious, Good? Where are you going? It gets stuck. He sprays everywhere. But the man who's crouching, he looked down, up, and left. He's spraying like he's trying to deny Yao Ming, and still a 1v5 situation. You only had 2 deaths, make it 3, but a flawless to close out the deficit, and now REIKAI finally finding a response.
I mean, I think maybe Shaq had diffuser the last round. That's the only thing I can think of. But honestly, not a bad pusher from REIKAI. I mean, they had the right pieces, and it helped that NuTorious memed.
I'm speechless.
I'm running out of material.
What do you even say to that? Because it's so obvious that one team is just not trying and REIKAI actually struggle round in and round out. That last round was played as a unit, but maybe because all of the defenders were focused on how to troll and not how to set up the site. But still, as you're still 1 round away from that match point, they can do whatever the hell they want. As long as they get that 1 round on the board, they're relaxing. And they're on the defensive, meaning it will be easy.
I mean, yeah, I hope that they're chilling. You know, right now they have everything in their hands to dictate how this game wants to go. I think they kind of want to keep pushing, you know, see what they can make happen, see what kind of fun they can have. But, you know, they got to lock it in and win it eventually. However, if you're cheering for REIKAI, which I personally am, I'm really liking watching REIKAI play. You're saying, come on, man, there's just so many rounds that are like fingertips away that have got to be won. I mean, that last round was kind of proof again that they bleed. Kill it, make it happen, make some sort of plays, and they don't have the hero play factor that we quite see NuTorious have. Like that first map, it was so dominated by Iceball. He had that hero factor, he had that X factor to make things happen. Hopefully we see maybe one of these attackers locked in. Really would like to see a Blackbeard make a good play here.
The spearhead of the attack here. It's always so important to have first blood, but somehow he's managed to walk out of that engagement unscathed. I mean, his shield doesn't cover his whole body unless he's crouched and slow walking, but again, the shotguns just don't do enough damage, especially at that close range with the shield fully up. Bottom lives to see another day, but Gugger is still on that flank. You guys saw him earlier. What else are you going to expect? The cross being watched, meaning anybody lurking into this yellow split will be completely decimated. That site is on the first floor, meaning verticality is of the most important essence. Real trying to get aggressive, will concede, and will manage to get aggressive, pull off, relax. Now, as it stands, a 4v3 means relax, reset with a minute 40, and play the drones, but apparently not. Gugger executes with the pistol, just can't find joy with the shotgun, and now, again, a 3v2, but you've lost your soft breacher and the spirit of your attack, and that is a big, big flaw here for REIKAI.
Does anyone else question how he is precision, I mean surgical, with the pistol, and then whips the 2 shotgun rounds?
He hit the bullets, but the shotgun's just shit.
Yeah, that shotgun does suck.
But
I'm just hoping that, you know, REIKAI makes a good, you know, attempt. They don't have really much to break up in vertical. They do still have the DMRs on the board. Rip it open with a DMR and just start dropping grenades. Rain a little bit of hate. There are some vertical holes made, though, from that defense. You know, they can make some plays off of it. They just have to actually decide to. And right now, I don't think they're going to, as they're already droning down, you know, trying to find another little chink in the armor to push.
They are looking like a team, but they're looking like a deflated team. I mean, we're not seeing the passion they had in the earlier stages of the last map. It's just not there. The way they're playing, not there. And the cohesive unit of an attacking roster is just not present, especially this is their away turf. They need to be able to lock it in, especially considering this is a very, very easy way to just reel it back in. It's not like you're getting 5-0'd. You're only 2 rounds down. Yes, guaranteed some of them were trolls. It still means you're 2 rounds down, and I've seen some massive upsets. They look to address this site head on, and they might be able to find success. You allow Ice Gold to get away. He possesses that shotgun close range, but you won't give him the opportunity to do anything with it. That DMR is something you just cannot give a second chance. Only 10 seconds left on the clock, meaning this plant needs to go down right now. Zero will look to do so, and you need to isolate Cheeky first because he's holding that cross, looking to thread that needle. Will do so, but the plant successfully goes down. You didn't check the corner! Differential, just 1, as that is beautiful positioning to get the job done, and REIKAI made it so much more realistic to be able to put it up at level.
I mean, just very, very solid plays. You know, you lose that body who's holding your cross. Honestly, should have been a maybe different favored round there at the end. But, you know, REIKAI did walk away with it. They held some decent angles. They made the right plays. Good job trying to flush everybody out. And I like how the planner went, because he could have went back and maybe tried to plant on the other end of piano. That makes him almost an easier wall bang than sitting right next to the door. Safest spot to plant, and it worked in their favor.
What a way to do it. I mean, that was a little bit of a I don't trust the teammate situation, but still, it worked out for the better. It is only 1 round that stands in between a deadlock and the match point for NuTorious. And I think they're going to stop trolling now. They'll head on upstairs with the right operator loadout. We'll have the Mira. They'll have the Tachanka. Everything needed to be able to keep it on the board. And the question is, are they up for the task? Because there's a lot to be done, and I really hope that they can force us to a 3rd.
I do like REIKAI kind of swapping off that super heavy attack that they were bringing at first. Kind of looks like they're moving more to a passive, you know, hey, let's sit back. They know that they're losing a lot of these upfront confrontational gunfights. So if they kind of pull it back and just, you know, lock that mentality in, As I say this, I see them swap the Capitale for Amaru, so I'm talking out of nowhere as well as a buck come out to play. Yeah, they just made me bite my tongue there.
A rush is so very possible right here and right now. There are windows to play off of. There's so many things you can do, and the question is, do you have the ability and the coordination to be able to do so? No Goyo is going to be in your favor, but still that Tachanka that possesses those Shimikas is going to be a problem to have to deal with. Shield ops are on the board. You have the spearhead of the attack, and you just need to be able to play the timer and run out that clock.
So the way I would actually push this one though, instead of Amaruing the window, Amaru up the hatch to that little small, you know, connector room from yellow stairs over.
No way, man! How are we letting Tachanka get the first kill with the LMG?
How are we letting Tachanka spawn peek in the big 2-5?
I don't really know if it was a spawn peek. He's in the building.
I mean, he shot him as he was coming through though.
Yeah, it's a big problem, definitely. I mean, Real is given a second chance at life. I don't think that Tachanka, or he does know he's down. He just isn't going to be too aggressive considering how annoying it will be to deal with. Hacker looking to stick it down. He hears that C4 get detonated, but it wasn't for him. But he still takes the affirmative action to get the hell out of there before he finds out who that C4 was for. Gugger taking action, but will take more damage and he will deal. Will go down. Bottom out in trade, and now we find ourselves right back up at level. Real low as well. Verticality being established, and now these defenders put themselves in a very tricky situation. One man is on the verticality, but he was on the life ping by that drone sitting idle, and now we find ourselves with the match point laying in the hands of these three notorious players in REIKAI, asking questions that they are actually finding answers for.
I mean, REIKAI now are set up in the position to win this. The Tachanka is off the board. That means you can try at least go for the plant. Now, sure, there are 2 C4s to deal with, but that's as simple as just a yellow push to clear it.
Looking to just find something, to find a string to pull on, but the air jab sets you up for a horrible spot. Now, Hacker learning how to play the game as just an aggressive player, as now something that was so very one-sided, something I thought was going to be a 7-2 is now turned into a 5-all situation, and it's very, very possible we go to OT. And keep in mind, this is not infinite OT. The admins have notified me that we end this off to whoever goes up to 8 rounds.
That is honestly a bit of a crazy thing. I was hoping for some infinite OT because these 2 teams will just duke it out.
You liar!
I mean, they're duking it out right now. I like seeing competitive play.
Now, as it stands, NuTorious have lost the plot due to trolling. Or I want you to give me an analysis. I want a prediction.
Oh, okay. Let me just open up the mind's eye and think for a second. I do feel that NuTorious, noticing that, you know, this team's actually done screwing around, like REIKAI has locked it in and decided, hey, we're going to be here. I hope to see NuTorious, you know, gun up and start bringing that pressure that we've seen towards the end of Nighthaven. However, I think once you get into that meme first mentality that we've been watching, it's hard to lock yourselves back in because your aim cools down. Your mentality is kind of not chalked, but it's not thrown in the right direction. But looking up this setup that we're seeing right now, definitely looks like they are here to game and they are here to play. Now, that guy just destroyed his own teammate's stuff. But as I was saying, looking at this attacking team, they do have that very, very heavy, quick push coming from the Blackbeard, Dokkaebi, and the Amaru. Now, if Amaru plays it right, they can maybe take yellow side again, which, in my opinion, that is the way you need to take this. You hold that yellow side first before you even think of default. Amaru shouldn't be used for default window. Amaru needs to be used to take that small yellow office. The nice first pick there coming from the Buck opens up a lot of play here as they get a C4 off the board. Full downstairs control, too. That's the part of the key that matters because the Buck is on board. He can just start doing what he's doing. Open that floor up. Make it impossible for these attackers to stand still comfortably. And the way REIKAI is playing, they're here to game.
I think they're now learning anything is possible, even if you guys are the team that has the short end of the stick. The case is loose. The body favor is in the favor. The body advantage is in the favor of REIKAI. They're now looking like a team. They're now capitalizing off of the mistake that NuTorious took for treating them as fools. And now we get to see and witness firsthand what can happen. It all is up to these players on this round to break that deadlock. Can REIKAI come from behind and put themselves on the match point in the lead for the first time this series, or are we going to see NuTorious lock in and just take it home?
I have a feeling if we see them try and clear this with the Chonka, we will see a default plant coming. They're already set up yellow side. They do have Blackbeard in. Blackbeard gets a nice pick, and now here comes the default plant.
Oh, it's becoming so realistic for a 1v4 situation. Flash, no connection. A TK from Zero because he's so confident he'll delete him on the head holes from Yellow. That is match point in the favor of the boys in purple, REIKAI, and I think we might be going to a final map.
I mean, a very, very stalled late push. And that is something that they've been, I hope, working on because it played out to perfection. To see this now go into match point for REIKAI, our underdogs, they are just hopefully balling out. I want to be a fly on the wall to this team right now because you know they are geeking. You know they are celebrating. It's not over yet, but they have pulled more rounds in this game than this other team has lost. They're in the position to make this team lose their first map. That is what is important. Make them lose this map. Even if you don't win out tonight, you made them lose this map.
Considering this is the first seeded team as well, this would be a major upset as well. Bank as the last map, anything can happen, and I'm so excited to see how REIKAI will try to push onto it.
I mean, hopefully we see the REIKAI that showed up these last two rounds. Now, looking at the operator lineups, again, a pretty aggressive lineup coming. You do have Thermite, who's not the fastest breacher in the world. I give that role to Ace, but he is one of the most reliable. Following that up, we do have a Blackbeard who's just going to get stupid aggressive, I hope. You know, because this team, if you notice, they don't react well to his shield running down their throat. And the Blackbeard has been doing just that the right way. He hasn't been too overly aggressive, but he has been putting himself in positions to be a good camera and then bring that gun up as needed. The top floor clear coming out early, just like you need. I mean, I think they droned it, but you see the Blackbeard just drop and run for Yellow. If they can take this Yellow control early on, I got a feeling Wall's going to come open shortly behind it, and they're going to be pushing into sight to a fully offset, like, just, I think, unprepared defense.
Gugger not scared to get his hands dirty with all 80 bullets he possesses, but will go back to sight. In trade, will lose that Vulcan that was on that cafeteria door. Now, a minute burned off the clock here, and they're looking for that first roamer, but they've grabbed the attention of that hatch. They now look to try to get first blood with that C4, but you have to be aware of the fact that hatch is open for a reason. Cheeky, capitalized, that's good taken care of. And now it's starting to become a lot more realistic with NuTorious falling on the second map when we thought it was going to be such a one-sided advantage. It was 5-2 at one point in the series, and now the consistent 4-round win has become something so realistic here from REIKAI to be able to take to that third map. That's the second body in a row they've been able to close out. And unless miracles can happen, I think we are going to map 3.
I mean, I got a feeling now that they have this Yellow control, they need to start pushing up on the wall. Take that pillar, take that wall, and then hold the long hallway, and an easy plant will follow in right behind that. The defenders, they don't look lost, they just look uncomfortable. If you look, everybody's ADS praying and holding something down.
Air jabs set up, especially to anybody that runs that pillar blindly. Thermite looking to get his hands dirty, bottom to address that pressure from Yellow as well. Phantom pressure from so much areas in the verticality are going to have these defenders guessing. Goyo flash for the longest time now, forced to back off here. This door, an absolute death trap. So much to do here, and it looks like they're doing it by the book. They're using that manual one by one on how to deny everybody and how to deny this plant. Still cannot find any way. Verticality still going to be established. That plant is going to go down regardless, and now Zero, C4, toss onto his front doorstep, just cannot connect. They'll find a refrag, but just not in a timely fashion. One man outside the breach, denied by Fast. The smoke will TK his own teammate on that Toxic Babe. And ladies and gentlemen, we need all 3 maps!
That was exactly what REIKAI needed to try and put this thing in their favor. Maybe that chalks the NuTorious mental, or maybe that locks NuTorious in harder than we've seen all night. Because if I'm on NuTorious right now, I'm sitting down having a conversation with my boys of, hey, let's not screw around. Let's 7-0 this next map, because we know we can do it. However, REIKAI, the underdogs, just absolutely biting and fighting their way up to the top. and they're going to show it here. They knocked the #1 seed down to a map, their first map loss of a season. Oh, God, I'm stuttering because I'm just excited on that play. Because REIKAI just, the absolute just baller plays of running the Blackbeard down yellow took so much control, and he just gunned out and made the plays that we needed to see.
So much for either side to still do because there's still a full map of play on board. Now the question is, what are they going to bring to the table? NuTorious not having the same momentum they did on that second map because now they don't have the most recent map win. You have REIKAI being able to pry away a map from the first seeded team, and now they'll head on to Bank to settle their dispute. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go grab a refresher, do a jumping jack, a push-up, whatever floats your boat. Leave a follow if you're enjoying, and we'll be back after a swift break. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it needs all 3 maps to decide the outcome of tonight. Big upsets here as the first seeded team in the playoffs have now lost 1 map. 1 for each, and we have Bank here on the come up. So much was seen here on the first, and I mean, we saw such a dominated game here for NuTorious, but now they decided to troll, and they decided to have the brunt end on what happens once you give a team too much leeway. REIKAI being able to persevere, be a resilient side, and now 4, we find ourselves on Bank.
I mean, I love Bank because it's such a toss-up map. It's either A, going to be the most defender-sided map you've ever seen, or B, the most attacker-sided. It is all just about the chemistry that your team shows. Now, REIKAI has been showing some hit and miss cues for that chemistry. NuTorious has been pretty solid on that chemistry. However, I still don't trust that idea because that last round, or the last map, the way REIKAI locked it in to bring those, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, or was it 2 or 3 rounds straight to win that out? No, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds in a row, one after the other, to bring themselves back in and claw from the depths. REIKAI has victory on the tip of their tongues, and I'm telling you, dude, they are chasing it hard.
They look like they're passionate. I mean, it's always the team that is the underdog that usually is able to persevere, but right now, right here, it is an even leveled playing field. REIKAI has the momentum for being able to take a map, but still, NuTorious is that team that possesses that insane amount of 1v1 ability, and I'm quite interested to see how they'll be able to play against that.
I mean, your 1v1 ability can only take you so far. This is not Call of Duty. This is a team-based game. Your communication and your setup matters. I'm throwing shade. That's exactly what I'm doing. To any of you Call of Duty fans out there, this is shade. So, yeah, you know, we're going to see NuTorious win their 1v1s. They're winning some good gunfights. However, we're seeing REIKAI just absolutely dominate that team play out on that last map. Winning so many, like, opening picks and so many good shots. And then to come together and just keep the steamroll going. They got all momentum on their side. Let's see what they can do with it.
2 bans either side until we get to the halfway point of this game. Now, Habana taking a ban is something that is essential for this play, but some teams, honestly, opt out of reinforcing the hatches, and they just deal with it head on because they don't have the Kaid, and it'll get opened out regardless. Ella, for some reason, possesses a shotgun and is doing the damage needed to continue to deny this Monty from easy entry, but Ice Cold is cold in his veins, being able to deny the Ella, but still gets refragged instantly after. And we find ourselves at a 4v4 situation where servers being addressed a lot faster than these defenders want to, because the faster you lose these Vulcans, the faster this Monty is going to be allowed access. But apparently, Good thinks he's Bolo, tries to waltz in, and now the case is loose in server.
I mean, the Monty play was what mattered there. I mean, I really love the Ella almost taking him down. If that would have happened, that would definitely flip every bit of pressure into this defensive side. However, Monty was still up just long enough to get in and get aggressive. Seeing him drop, though, puts everything back in defender favor, especially with a pick like that leading the way. I'm going to have to say, REIKAI has got this one almost on lock, unless we see some just outstanding gunplay coming from these attackers.
Man advantage now in the favor of REIKAI. They just have to sit back, relax, especially with the amount of utility they have in their favor. Kit still forced loose. It's in the depths of servers, and it's going to be Osa to try to go get it. But still, Square. The hatch is reinforced, and Vigil's going to be on the front lines looking to deny it every single time. To make matters worse, there's a man in Archives looking to lurk and get his kill, but a double swing to coordinate is going to allow you to get one, but Gugger seeks refuge behind the pillar, looking to find the second. But what the hell did you think was going to happen? Easy refrag, and now a 1v2 where Osa is going to have to try to fight her way out from within the site. A little bit of a reversed roll here, as now a 1v1 will ensue, and it will be real on the hatch, looking to deny. Brava running away, unaware that he has taken the place of the late castle, and now the first round of the third map goes in the favor of REIKAI.
I mean, that's just all about that momentum shift. REIKAI managed to maintain just absolutely perfectly. They had it in their favor at the start, don't get me wrong, because they had that 5-round run. However, pulling into this one, momentum flipped a couple times. You notice it, you sit here, you watch it. You see those attackers get overly aggressive, especially you see that, little bit, that bottom square. The attack was really good. It just, after that first pick, he should have skedaddled sooner. left himself open for that Valkyrie to hit the double swing and bring that round back into their cusp.
Now, what a first impression for REIKAI to make. What a statement to make on the first round. But still, this is an endurance game as well. You have to be able to go the extra mile. We were speaking on that on Nighthaven. A team can get absolutely destroyed on the first, but once they get to that second map, they have a chance to prove themselves. And that's exactly what REIKAI did. Granted, they had a little bit of assistance due to the fact that we saw NuTorious trolling. All that matters is REIKAI got the map. So we're on that third, and we're on bank, and now we're seeing REIKAI force each and every round to go in their favor, and they're taking it seriously. And NuTorious have trolled so much they just cannot catch.
They're doing a little more than just forcing it. Forcing it is getting a couple extra decent picks. They are grasping and clawing and pulling the rope in their favor every chance they can. Every little thread that REIKAI has been able to find, they have tugged. And it is just going to show why REIKAI has that heart and soul that you see in a lot of champion players.
Upstairs will be the venue for the site here. The defenders looking to put a lock on it and head on over to the first if they can win this one. External play is definitely a factor, and they don't have mirror to be able to watch that external play here from that Janny area. And my controller has decided to have a stroke. Now, it's all about taking it slow, and I know NuTorious knows this, considering some of these players have experience playing in the higher up scenes of Rainbow Six. If you lose First Blood, especially losing your Heart Breacher or your Shield Op, you are in for a rough treat. And if you cannot play external, it definitely gets worse.
Yeah, this map is so much dominated by the windows. It would be my buddy Mario's, just favorite dream to only play bank. With all the window control, though, it doesn't matter much when you have teams that set up correctly and run the holes across. As you can see here, a nice camera setup, but it doesn't matter as Blackbeard is doing his thing over there playing those windows.
Somehow threads the needle on external play. How are we allowing a shield op to do that? Somehow, Osa not being able to capitalize at that range, taking Real down before he'll reconsider putting his head into places they don't belong. And now, as the advantage is in the favor of NuTorious, they're looking to deal the damage needed. Yokai is getting a little too aggressive, meaning we won't have some on-site denial, but will that matter? Your Echo's already put in a very bad spot. He's low, and the attackers are asking questions by taking care of each and every one of your teammates. Osa still fighting his way after every single gunfight, but a double team between Cheeky and Bottom are now going to allow themselves to find a pick, but after what? They've given up the control of offices. CEO is in the favor now of NuTorious. They have the control. External pressure is there, but will be shut out. The kit still in the favor and in the hands of Good, as now that plant will go down unless they can get close enough to be able to deny it. Monty puts up his shield in a timely amount of time. It will get taken care of. Bottom 1 HP, finding a refrag, and a 1v2 is the name of the game. But Fast, you're taking possession a little bit too slow here, as your team has had to get their hands dirty at every single play. I mean, come on. Why are we pumping the brakes? Sometimes getting careful is too careful, as you still have 100 HP, and the last I checked, an LMG in your hands. Wedging yourself in between the man and the person who's trying to rush the planter, and it will eventually end up in success. Finally, NuTorious find a response.
I mean, that was a round that just came way too close. From something that NuTorious did start to run away with, to a couple unlucky picks going in the favor of REIKAI, bringing it up almost into a clutch situation. I really would have liked to see that clutch happen, because just the 1 HP in a dream moments, those are all over TikTok. Not bad positioning, just a lot of guys not held great. Like, the Echo should have maybe been positioned a little bit better for himself. His cameras were good, but when they rush that Monty down your throat, it's just a bad time all around. Luckily for, the attacking team, they're NuTorious. They had the Blackbeard on Windows. Just provides so much utility because he's a camera with a gun. So all that utility there stacked up and made that play happen. We're going to see another upstairs hold. I got a feeling we're going to see the exact same defense or attack coming too. Hopefully, no Blackbeard, because he's a cheese, though.
I find myself speechless in a lot of these situations, considering that the plays are just not what they're meant to be. The rounds that you think will go in the favor of NuTorious don't, and vice versa. I mean, the way it's been played out has been interesting. We haven't been seeing the utility utilized enough to keep CEO held down. I mean, yes, you doubled up the team and took care of the man who was residing on the bottom of Spiral Stairs, but you left CEO completely unattended. NuTorious took advantage of that, waltzed in, and just forced so much dominance of control. What are you guys going to do to change that? And again, they both have timeouts during this map, so it'd be nice to see them taking a little break to be able to address that head on.
I mean, I really enjoy the Yokais being played. I'm an Echo fan. I love him to death. He's one of the better operators for defending. However, they need to make their decision now. Are they going to use Echo as an aggressive, get him up front and get, hold that long angle there? Or is he going to be playing his Cabras? Right now, they try to be splitting in between both. And a nice main push coming. Double shields coming up, but a first pick.
Cheeky. He is cheeky indeed. He has definitely been a difference maker. Currently 5-2 right now. Looking to get very aggressive, try to get his hands dirty, and will do so indeed. One tip of this defensive counter has now been taken care of as the Blackbeard will go down. Good. Now on the front lines of Marble, now walking up to Spiral later in the round, is going to be trying to push him off of front desk, but he's done so much damage already. You guys have to kill him right here and right now.
I mean, a lot of this is going to hinge on this Monty. He has to be aggressive, but he needs a team behind him.
What a replay. One tap.
That was.
From the range to take care of the man in E2, and now we find ourselves with NuTorious managing to reel it back in after a very cheeky dominated first half of the round. Just below 90 seconds left on the clock, and they're getting aggressive. Echo has been located in the depths of Janitor, will not get refragged. Low, but not enough to call him out here. And now REIKAI reeling it back in, and this has just been a consistent change of pace as now they'll box him into E2. Now, being able to break it will completely ease off as there are still teammates able to try to find that refrag. Osa taking on bottom to just 1 HP, meaning even Monty can get his hands dirty. So low for these two defenders, and they can get isolated one by one. That'll be bottom to fall, and now it's just Hacker left all by himself with the live things being put, considering you have a human drone looking to find him. Knocked down is now Good, gets his hands dirty. NuTorious emerge, and now they found their footing.
I mean, Monty just, he got down and dirty with it. I like the play to try and keep him trapped in elevator, but they needed to have a backup plan already. That was just a band-aid over a crack in the dam, and Monty managed to get his hands in there, split the crack, and run himself through.
It has to be better than that, and I say that in the nicest way possible. We can boxing him in, yes, was an amazing initial idea, but what got us to that point? We had Cheeky fighting his way out of that bottom floor consistently, and yet he still managed to take one out and one to a low amount of HP, yet NuTorious emerged victorious. There are things you have to address, and that is the starting point here. As you only have 3 rounds left on your defensive, you need to crank out these issues right here and right now.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple gaps coming really quick into this REIKAI defense. Now, they're doing great. Don't get me wrong. They're holding pretty well. But they lose a body, they lose a whole side of the map. And that is just what has been killing them so much. They gave up, 2 lives on Marble, and suddenly the whole main lobby side is gone. That allowed that Monty just to walk up and take all the control that he wanted in the world. The stream froze for me. Oh, that was back.
There we go. Apologize for the stutters. Apparently my PC doesn't know how to handle shit, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Yes, I swear. Do I care? No. 5v5.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, yeah. I honestly, it's warranted to swear. I don't know how we didn't earlier. Those rush plants we saw in Consulate were simply the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Those rush plants were interesting. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it besides interesting. You can't say they were bad, you can't say they were good. I mean, the planter got down, they just didn't keep enough lives up to defend it when it did go down. Looking now, though, we do see another double shield play coming, so hopefully they manage to pull something good here.
Now, as it stands, rushes have significantly not been working out here for NuTorious. I mean, it's been a 50-50, an interesting toss of a coin, but now they'll be able to make a little bit of a 66-33 type of action, as now they'll take care of First Blood, and an essential part of the map, they'll take care of open area. The kid is loose, though. It needs to be retrieved from the depths of sight, or from the depths of spawn, and there's a man sitting above that they'll need to address as well. And the question is, are they careful enough to find it? Because they've just been trying to get aggressive, and sometimes that's just not enough.
I got a feeling NuTorious might get overly aggressive for themselves here. Like, they're not really clearing out. They're not paying much attention. They're just running for picks. And, I mean, it's a strategy that has worked. As you see the blitz now rolling up on the Blackbeard, something is about to happen. That's one of these, you know, things are about to go down.
Looking to address that site head on, completely ignoring the fact that there was a Vigil who engaged on the top of Marble. And now he's going to continue to waste out the time here. He knows if his presence is forgotten and he goes for a late round flank, we're looking at a completely different execute here. This may just be a one-sided round for REIKAI if Monty can tuck himself in, but he is currently droned, or to be droned out here with the assistance of that line playing close and holding out. And if he can continue to do so, we're finding ourselves in a horrible spot for REIKAI. Bottom looking to try and to continue and waste out the time. He's doing a great job at that as there's just below 90 seconds left and they are starving out every single second. You're still on the life pings. They know exactly where you are, even if you don't turn on that tracker, and you are floored by that 417 in the hands of Gugger. But in the meantime, Tiki finds a refrag, and now it's still a one-man advantage in the favor of NuTorious.
You know, one-man advantage, it matters a lot, but there is a dog still on the board, so think of that as, you know, 3 1-ups from Mario. You still have that chance to make some comebacks and make some things happen. There's a boss G, though, that we see on Dokkaebi, which I question quite sternly.
Now, Dokkaebi, essential for clearing out the first logic bomb down the initial location of bottom, and then the assistance from stealing the cams from Castle allowed the Vigil to be located. So, not essentially an empty pick, but did the job to get it done. A little bit of pinch between Osa and Good to be able to clear anybody that resided in the depths of blue as they now look to address this site head on. No Goyo, as he's banned, will prove to be a mistake as you cannot stick that plant. You cannot deny it. You're going to have to get your hands dirty. A C4 is in the hands of Rio, but can he get enough, or can he get close enough to be able to do it before that diffuser goes down? Down, C4 out, no joy, as now we find ourselves in a situation where these defenders have to find themselves as the attackers and deal with the verticality, their head-on ones, and they will manage to push out fast perfectly, but still, a shield up on the board, tucked away, and a DMR that packs a very heavy punch will now be the name of the game. You need to get your hands dirty in order to deal with the case, but Osa mows down 2 of you in lateral, and now that is another round in the favor of NuTorious, and that is the team we saw on Nighthaven. That was the team that we saw play as a unit as they now grasp a 2-round lead.
I mean, that is the NuTorious that, yeah, we are used to seeing. They're being extremely aggressive coming in here with that Blackbeard. He is just full-on train rushing every chance he gets, and that is just what's making these plays happen. You know, the speed in which he's rushing down, he's taking so much map control. They're not even worrying that much about the verticality. They're just worrying about getting a direct point to sight. And so far, it has worked in their favor. Up 3-1. And I believe they are also leading currently on first picks.
And now, it's funny you mentioned that as well, because we were talking about how REIKAI were always so significant and so effective at being able to find the first picks, and now they just can't find joy. They're falling to rushes, they're falling to clears, something that we just weren't seeing on console, and that's proving to be a problem. We talk about who can play the long game and the endurance game, and it just looks like it's only one answer that's correct.
Yeah, REIKAI, they have been dominating usually on the opening part of these rounds. However, NuTorious has just not been letting up. Their attacks have been very in your face, very heavy on these shields, very reliant on them. So, you know, whether it's a Monty pushing these main mortal stairs or a Blackbeard charging down your throat, they are just taking a lot of map control, and I want to see what they do now that they only have a blitz on the board.
Looks like the rushes aren't going to be fully as effective, but still, they've managed to claim a round off of it to continue and further their lead. And it looks like they know exactly what they want to do here. Realistically, they have an idea and they've been able to capitalize. There's a rush. They don't need 2 spearheads. They'll just address it head on. Smoke's dead. They're in sight and they're addressing it. The Rayora, the second, they'll deny this. Smoke cuts off both rotates as they look to get a second plant down, as this has been one of the most effective rushes I have seen ever. Impact used on the first Rayora, no joy, as Flastic scared the 2 players who were trying to get lucky. One man residing in the depths of the connector and one on the top of square goes down to 1 HP. A 5-2 man count. NuTorious grasp sight so heavily and they just cannot get their hands off of it. And now that is such a one-sided affair here from NuTorious. A completely rejuvenated team as they are building up each and every round from scratch.
I mean, it looks like they want to put themselves into a 5-1 split. because that heavy of an attack, that's exactly what NuTorious has been playing at all night. That, you know, quick take, that quick action, everything there was just a matter of seconds. I didn't even hear you breathe once in saying that, dude. You could be Eminem on a free spot, free ball with that one, dude. That was just so fast. Everything happened so quick. And that is, you know, those rounds of Siege are where it is just so dire for good defense communication, because I don't think they knew what was happening. I don't think they knew where they got hit from. It was just 1-2 lights out, round to NuTorious, without even a moment to think about what happened.
Yeah, also gotta just scream help, 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 but that also blocks the comms. I mean, there's so much you gotta do. A lot of the higher up gameplay is covered by a lot of team audio, and then they focus on their ability to realize that there are comms and audio in game.
What the?
So what are we looking at is the question. I mean, a rush from NuTorious that was so beautifully executed that now we just cannot see REIKAI digging themselves out of this hole. They've managed to find a comeback, but only when NuTorious was allowing them to. And now as it stands, this is very difficult for REIKAI to be able to reel back in.
I mean, yeah, REIKAI, they need to do something to slow down these pushes, and it looks like they may lean a little bit in that direction, as they do have an Ella on the board. However, they've been bringing her, and it really hasn't done too, like, stellar much. REIKAI just don't have the answer for these shields. They need, you know, more plays in the Legion. Heck, throw a Frost out. You know, throw something out, just something to slow these shields down. But with the defense, or the attackers banning those defenders they did, it was kind of, you know, we know what was coming when we seen those fans pop up.
Finally, first blood in the favor of REIKAI. He'll take care of good. And now, that is the spearhead of the attack. Or actually, one of the spearheads. I didn't see they had a Blackbeard, and now they look to build off of it. They've managed to find first blood, and they look to build it. The question is, what are they going to be able to do to capitalize?
I mean, losing that blitz on the first pick is definitely detrimental. Again, this is a NuTorious team who has been surviving off that shield play, surviving off their brains, but just bad picks not going their way.
That is first blood in the favor of NuTorious. I mean, it's now put up at level as you've taken care of the Vigil. What a way to put it back up at level, and Osa will grab that body by taking care of Valkyrie as well, and that's going to be a problem to deal with, especially with the amount of utility, and they are just snowballing towards Ice Ball, or Ice Cold, ice in his veins, as now it's a 4v1. You had so much blue control that you forgot about the rest of the site, and now the B chassis, the A chassis, is all the attackers. A 4-1 advantage looking to be a 5-1, as now Blackbeard isolates, capitalizes, and Gugger wins the gunfight. 5-1. 4-round deficit, and now REIKAI are starting to fall down a slippery slope.
He wasn't teabagging, he just dropped his keys, chat. That's all he was checking for a pulse. Ella is all fine there. But just a REIKAI team that fell apart really quick. Again, that is how they're losing these rounds. They're just not sticking together or banding together for it. They had no answer to any of the shield play. The whole time, it was dominated by either a Blackbeard through the door or a blitz in right after him. The Monty worked stupendously on those early rounds to try and take that top marble control into main lobby. And just based off all that, NuTorious just steamrolled, took quick, constant picks. It didn't even matter if there was a gun behind the shields, because the shields were just getting it done on their own.
What a way to be effective. I mean, they continue to find each and every one, and it's been absolutely beautiful. They've been able to execute. They've been able to play as a team. And now it's showing us why NuTorious was that team to claim Nighthaven 7-4. And if they look to continue and build this up, they are staring down the barrel of the end of this series.
I mean, I absolutely think they can. NuTorious has been just on fire the way they've played through this map. I think last map was kind of one of those ones of, hey, we're going to, you know, let off the gas a little bit. We're not going to tap the brakes. We're just slowing down ourselves. And it was probably one of those ones just to save mental. If you throw everything you've got into 2 maps straight, God forbid it goes to the third, because then you get burnt out on the first 2. And the third one is just a toss-up. I think right there, that second map was just a recovery map for them. As they are fully locked back in, they look like the NuTorious that we've seen on those other maps. But however, REIKAI was only down, what, 5-2 last map before they locked in? Maybe we're going to see a repeat. History does tend to repeat itself.
but also we have to take into account that NuTorious are doing some interesting plays, to say the least. It doesn't look like they are showing that side of the coin. They are locked in. The plays are concise. The rushes are executed and well calculated. And they are now looking to continue and make matters worse for REIKAI, especially on the defensive. They have Clash. They have so much denial. I don't think accessing site or even trying to get that plant down is a realistic ability unless you can take care of the Clash and the Monty and the Maestro and. There's so many operators that are going to deny, and it's going to be a problem once you cannot deal with it. But similar to that first round we saw when it was REIKAI defending, 1 kill in the server for the defenders and 1 for the attackers. They now look to address site head on.
I mean, that's an easy rip straight into site. They have so much control almost immediately running through servers. A couple good picks back and forth, but really nothing that's going to be, you know, round changing.
I mean, beautiful. Clash is utilizing the shock to be able to move that Monty shield to the side, and they've been able to try to deal a bit of damage to that. As they now look to bait him out, he just doesn't fake it. The Yokai doesn't take care of it, but the Evil Eye will definitely do the job. This is what I meant. There's just so much damn utility, and Ash is a ways away trying to find something here. Clash mobilizes, threads that needle on the first, and looks to execute this Monty for even stepping into server. Trying to isolate the one. Monty now below 20 HP, and Oso walks out victorious between that gunfight between herself and Rio. And now a 4v1. Cheeky, pistol in hand, case in hand, but only no HP to assist, and now that is match point for NuTorious.
I mean, that was just a very, very good defensive round. Sure, they did lose the first body. Sure, they gave up full blue control. That didn't really matter too much when you have that Clash standing there, and she just went nuts, denied everything, and pushed them back out. Not only did she push them out of sight, she pushed them back out of the building. She said, leave, this is my ground. And that is why this reworked Clash is so scary and why she is still so commonly banned in competitive. It sucks you can't ban her in ranked.
You can ban her in ranked.
No, you can't. She's locked.
All right, so if we put a bet right now, 20 bucks on the line, and I'm right that you could ban her in ranked, will you give me the 20 bucks?
Did they just unlock her today?
You have to agree to the bet.
I think they just unlocked her today because I remember
today.
she was locked yesterday.
Nope. Even before that, but she can be banned now. I want my 20 bucks.
Nah, I swear I was just playing ranked last night and she was still banned.
Last night to you could have been like last year, but 6-1.
I mean, yeah, I am old. That's the Alzheimer's.
Yeah, you fossil. 6-1 is the scoreline. NuTorious. That is the team I remember seeing in the group stage on Nighthaven Labs. We're seeing so much teamwork, and this is the team that definitely looks prepared to take on TSG. So many minor issues to take care of, but still, they've played up as a unit, and a 6-1 score is exactly what you would want from them on a match point.
I mean, are we going to see a 6-2 or a 7-1? I'm hoping for a 6-2. I really want REIKAI to win some rounds. I really like watching these guys play. I hope that they're not being discouraged by this, because their playstyle so far has been amazing. They just need to adapt to the shields. Like, even as the Clash is out now, we're seeing it. They cannot adapt to that shield. I would throw $30 if REIKAI wins this. The next ban is the Clash off the map.
I mean, shield for shield, I guess, also being brought. Can't say she has an electrical ability on it, but it's enough to get the job done. Looking to get her hands dirty. Yo, Gugger, are you serious? Are you serious?
Hey, it's 6-1. Gugger can meme.
And he's just military crawling fast, helping his teammate out by getting really close to the window to be able to sneak by and find an easy kill. If his teammate gets killed, it's a refrag. If he is going to see this Zof get carried away, it's an easy kill for his team. That's exactly what he'll do. Beams her, but bottom is already down there, looking to make matters worse. And now Gugger is just going to be a sneaky snake. And somehow Cheeky isn't dead. We have a little bit of a disconnect. We're too far into the round for it to be a rehost. And now a 4v5 is the name of the game.
Somehow Gugger manages to escape with his life, mind you.
Unreal.
Dude can get the sniffles and die here. I mean, same can be said about Zofia, you know. She wakes up one morning, stubs her toe getting out of bed, she's dead. A lot of utility being used to try and push this Clash back, but really none of it being effective. We will see the breach coming for that wall. Thermite just losing his life, though. I don't know if he got it. Yes, he did. Thank God he got that open.
Luckily, but again, you just can't make those mistakes, especially when you're staring down the barrel at the end of the game. Osa taken care of, so is good, and now this is 10 times as realistic. Gugger needs to find his way back to side, or it'll be ice cold all by himself to try and address the full pressure from outside on the windows and head on. And he won't even be able to get past the first barricade, which is the external play. Gugger looking to address it, and for your hopes of a delayed match end has now been satisfied.
I mean, that's what I was praying on the whole time. I was really, really wanting REIKAI to try and bring this one in. And the way they played that was pretty sloppy at times. They needed someone to pay attention to this Clash. That's the thing. They're still used to old Clash where she's not going to drop the shield. New Clash, you better believe she's dropping that shield and pulling that pistol around it. They need to rely more on their utility with one another. They need to rely more on their communications. So far, REIKAI have been very uncommunicative, at least from what we can tell watching. I'm not in their lobby. I don't know. They could be yelling perfectly to each other. They're just not able to, put it onto paper. They just, as a team, need to play more into one another. They're trying right now to make 5 solo hero plays. They need to make one good push, one good team effort, one final effort to try and bring this back. It's only 4 rounds. 4 rounds is nothing. This is Siege, man. Take them into OT. This is what matters.
I do hope to God that we can see a REIKAI come back, because that would be the craziest line of, of esports history. Yes, T4 come back from the #1 seeded team against a team who's been fighting would be a crazy, crazy comeback. But as of now, I mean, what you were mentioning before, you have REIKAI not being able to materialize what they want. They can't find anything, and that's becoming a problem. Gugger is still trolling, and yet we are feeding him what he wants, taking care of time. Damn.
Thank God they got that pick.
Finally.
I mean, yeah, okay, you take out the guy trolling, but you got to realize still, that is still a Vigil. That is still one of the most annoying operators to play against on a roam. He could have very easily just walked back into sight and took control, or walked back in the map and took control of the map. So getting rid of him early matters, even if he is just a meme right now.
Only 40 seconds off the clock and first blood has been determined. Now it's all up to NuTorious, and there are 4 players that remain alive to be able to try and make matters better for themselves. They're put in a very unfortunate situation right now, but we've seen from them, anything is possible as long as they have their bodies up and fighting. Now good, he found a kill and was an absolute unit up here, but he got refragged out due to the fact that there was a crazy disadvantage in terms of bodies. The question is, can he find a kill right here before he falls?
I mean, as long as they can clear the Clash out, we're going to expect some good kills. Right now, she's still standing. She's still fighting. If she continues to be in that position, it's almost game over for REIKAI. They have a lot of utility based around keeping that Clash up. A lot of players putting themselves in position to keep that Clash up. But main wall does now get opened by the Thermite. Something I'm surprised that the Clash let happen.
Come on, man. Check the quarters. It's Siege 101. That is the spirit of your attack taken care of. And now, with a reduced amount of Candelas, they have to materialize something.
I still have a lot of faith in this team being able to pull it out. You know, with main wall being open, they need to solidify a square side push. And a pick there just, even further pushes that theory that REIKAI can lock it in and win it.
The second you turn away from that bulletproof camera, it will stab you in the back. And Deimos will learn that the hard way, as Osa will capitalize. Takes care of business. The call goes out that there's a man running at you full speed on that mirror. Plant yet to go down, but it is soon if you guys cannot play as a unit. There is a man on the window rappel and will take care of business. That's that new rappel sprint taking care of what could have been a very disastrous situation for REIKAI. Fast, keeping his team in this. He's keeping REIKAI on a rope that they are going to have to continue and come back from. But Fast, making it so realistic, he'll shut it out off a double trade. That's game, and NuTorious advance on to verse TSG Black in the semifinal.
Oh my god, dude. I was hoping so hard for REIKAI there. They had everything in position. They just stopped being aggressive. As soon as they got map control, they took their foot off the gas and just gave it up. They needed to try and, push around and take, and they just could not do it.
The underdog story ends on a second map with a scoreline of 7-2. And that is such an insane way to be able to end it off. But, I mean, do you have any final thoughts for?
I'm really excited to see what NuTorious is able to do. But if you guys are gonna continue on and take tournaments and leagues this far, you got to be a locked-in team 24/7. Try and make that push into the next bracket. As for REIKAI, don't let this be a discouraging loss, dude. NuTorious played out of their minds all night. There was a lot of amazing plays, but you guys had your own skill levels. You guys had your own skills pulling into this. You guys did amazing on that second map. And all night, you guys led first picks. You guys have good control of early rounds. You just got to lock in on that mid to end round executions and keep bodies up. A lot of the fails have been from just lost bodies.
Coach 4 is definitely passionate about giving those words of insight and wisdom. He has been around 10 times as long as me. But again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been our first stream with a co-caster on here. I hope you guys did enjoy. Feedback is always open. My Twitter DMs, my Discord DMs are always open. Hopefully my PC didn't piss you guys off too much. Have a great rest of your night. Congratulations to the boys on NuTorious to go face off TSG in the semifinal. And a valiant effort from REIKAI has us telling you guys good night, and we'll see you guys in the next one.